Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This one's going to be our favorite movies by genre. Basically, we're going to go through a big list of different genres of movies and pick what our favorites are. We also want you in the live chat to get your thoughts on in here, so make sure you call on in 781-990-8509. You can also text that number. We have a question thing set up in the live motherfucking chat for you guys to jump in there and share your picks. We've got a couple people that sent us some messages and already made some picks. We see Peter Griffin on the live chat, puts Bloodsport for all of them. We also got Jay who said that. We got new channel member Jen Hack. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for that dime bag of support. Please use our custom emojis, and thank you also for joining the Facebook group. Our categories for tonight are comedy, drama, action, romantic comedy, horror or scary, or thriller, whatever. Actually, thriller is different. So that was one of the ones we missed. But I would say
that's drama. Thriller is drama.
You could, but you could also do more of a specialized picks, Joe, where you could get very specific with what kind of action movie. And we got that a little bit with some of these. But this is our list, and we're sticking to it. So we got horror and scary, western, superhero, martial art movie, sports movie, fantasy movie, but you don't have to say it like an asshole like I just said it, science fiction, and animated or anime. I kind of picked one for each of those. Crime in Mafia, or crime or mafia film, because I didn't want to keep it just to mafia pictures. And even though I'm going to pick one. And last, but I should have picked two different ones, Joe. So I'm gonna put myself in some sort of a difficult position. And last but not least, musicals. But we want to see your picks. As I said, I set it up in the live chat. If you click on the header of the live chat, you can switch it to where it says questions, I believe is how it works. And you can leave your picks in there, or just jump on in as we're doing it. Call on in, leave us a voicemail, text on in. And make sure you share your thoughts on what your picks for this list are. And Joe, we were talking about this before we started. This is and of course I'm not alone. I have with me, of course, Joe Dirty Locks. Welcome, Joe. How are you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is gonna be. Joe and I actually saw each other today for the first time in probably a couple of years, right? Something like that. No, since you helped me move, maybe. But, we were talking about this. This list is not all encompassing. This is not our favorite list. This is not, Joe's having a stroke. I gotta get the camera off. The alcohol hasn't kicked in. I'm boring Joe right now. The coffee's worn off and the alcohol hasn't kicked in. Exactly. And I was saying the coffee hasn't the booze hasn't kicked in and the coffee's worn off. But what we were saying before the show started, this isn't what we think are the best movies. That's a whole other list. That would almost be easier. This is favorite.
It kind of would be, because it's not just our opinion that goes into what the best is, right? I guess.
Yeah.
This is what we think is
right. If you picked Street Fighter 2 as the best action movie of all time, or the best something, you're wrong. It's not the best. But if someone said that was their favorite, you can't argue with that. You can say I think you have stupid taste, as I'm sure you'll say to me several times tonight in some of my picks, and I'll go what for some of yours. But we're also going to play an interesting game tonight where Joe and I attempt to pick what the other one would pick. See how well Joe and I are going to play the newlywed game here a little bit, and
all my answers are written down here. So.
Yeah, all my answers are on the screen right here. I'm not going to mess around here. Oh, let's read some of our picks in the live chat. And if you're in the live chat, please hit that like button. Share this out. These videos not about a specific show are always tougher to find people out on the YouTubes. So tonight more than ever, it's really important. If you're liking this silliness, get yourself a drink, share this out, help us get some folks in here, and let's toast this up and have a good night talking about some movies. Something we don't do enough here on this channel, Joe. We talk a lot about television shows, but we occasionally, this is fun. We've done it a few times, but it's been a while that we come together to do a little bit of a movie discussion. We got Watch Out. We got Jen Hack, new channel member. Jen Hack, you can see she got a little conga drum next to her name. That means she's a channel member. We got a few other channel members in the live chat tonight jumping on in. We got John Haymaker as well. That means you can use our custom emojis. Joe and I just recorded a quick little 5-minute pre-show discussion that we'll be releasing to you guys before. And I also got a little post-show discussion from a couple of weeks ago that I'll be sharing with you guys for some bonus content. And we do appreciate any of you that help us keep doing this thing. Training Day is the best movie ever. Great movie, Killmonger. Bloodsport. We got The Games Begin. We got Sonic. We got
what it's like to get your shit pushed back.
I mean, Bloodsport is an incredible
One of my
movie.
favorite lines from a movie.
This is where
Comes from Training Day. That's fantastic.
Training Day. Maybe, I mean, Denzel Washington is one of the best, but that might be his best overall role. When it comes to Van Damme stuff, just to get into it for Van Damme for a second here, I know Bloodsport is the popular one to say that's his, best early work, and I think it's a better movie. This is an example of better versus taste. I think Bloodsport is a better movie. It's a better action, sort of whatever you want to call it. I like Kickboxer better because I can't even explain it. I can't explain why. I know it's worse. It's definitely not as good, but
I know why you like.
Because it's got Dr. Death in it. It's got the ogre from Revenge of the Nerds in it. Maybe I don't know why I like.
No, ogre's in Bloodsport.
Oh, he's in Bloodsport. Yeah, but Kickboxer I still like a little bit better for some reason. But you're right. Ogre is in Bloodsport. But yeah, maybe it's the training montage, the Karate Kidness of it with the Mr. Miyagi training montage. Maybe it's and you get the Rocky IV intro where he almost kills his brother, puts his brother and cripples his brother, and then he's got to train to go. I don't know. Both are great movies. Van Damme at his best. Spoiler for me, Joe. There's no Van Damme on my list. Joe is not admitting the same. There might, in fact, be some Van Damme in the live chat.
I won't admit that there might not be any Steven Seagal on my list. No, I'm just kidding. There's no Steven.
Oh, we got Jen Hack, who's sending us some farts in our general direction. Toast to you. I can smell it. Just watched Oblivion for the 6th or 7th time today. It's my personal favorite. Goodfellas rule, Jen Hack. Favorite comedy, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Close second, Blazing Saddles. John Haymaker, Goodfellas was my favorite Wise Guy film. Okay, I got some cheap wine. Pour the cheap wine, crack your beers, open your bottles, pour up, spark up your hippie activities, and let's get ready. We're going to get into this thing. So keep your opinions coming, keep your thoughts coming on what some of your picks are throughout the evening, and we will get to them along the way. We also have some special picks from a fan of the show and producer of the show, because she did produce one of our co-hosts, the retired nurse, who's going to be offering up some of her picks for favorite movies. I have a couple picks from a couple of other people that gave me some. One of my former teachers saw this list and he wanted to give me a couple of his choices as well, and a couple of joke choices that people are saying, yeah, my favorite musical movie is Crossroads with Daniel Russo. No, it's not, Craig.
Oh my goodness.
It's not, Craig. It's not. You're kidding.
There's some great blues music in that.
It is.
Some great guitar playing.
It's a fun.
Joe Satriani in there too.
Steve Vai plays the guitar in it.
Steve Vai.
Steve
But
Vai.
no, isn't the one he plays against Satriani?
No, that's Steve Vai does all the electric lead kind of stuff, and then I believe Roy Cooter is the other guitar player.
Oh, it's Roy Cooter. Okay.
I think it's those two people.
I thought Satriani was in there.
I mean, it's because when you think of kind of guitar players, Satriani is probably the first name that pops in your head, but it's
yeah, but that's so blues.
It's completely Steve Vai.
So blues. I've only seen some of that movie, so
yeah. And we will we'll absolutely do a music show at some point. Joe, what is your cat's name?
My cat's name.
Yeah, Jen was
Mustachia.
the one that you were playing with on the stream.
Mustachia.
And Jen was jealous of your cat situation, who just posted pictures of her cat in the Facebook group today. So if you're a member of our Facebook group, you can check out Jen's kitty, and please post your own kitties as well. Sonic says, Joe watching From Yet? I don't think I've gotten Joe to watch From Yet, but I'm still going to try to get him to try. It's on Amazon now, so it's easier than ever. But we'll talk about that a little bit later before the end of the show. Okay, What category should we do first, Joe?
Let's do the list straight
Oh,
down.
you want to straight do the list all the way through? Okay.
Yep.
John Haymaker, good pick. My Cousin Vinny was my favorite Ralph Macchio film. Phil, Joe, which one of you is Jake and which one of you guys is Elwood? I mean, in the context of, it depends what context. In reality world, Joe is Belushi. He's more the Belushi. I'm Aykroyd.
So this kitty is Moustache.
That one. When we go out in real public, Joe is the more social, outgoing leader of the two of us. Would you say that's correct, Joe?
Oh, without a doubt.
On this stream, I'm more Belushi-ish because I'm a blah, 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 and he's more like Aykroyd, being more quiet and silent, standing there with the glasses on and blah 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 blah. But in reality, Joe is far more Belushi's character than I am. Even though I do sing for a band and I'm the lead vocalist of a band, but I just mean in sort of like persona and attitude. Like he's Bill Murray in the Ghostbusters. I'm like, you know, I'm one of the other dudes. And when we're out in public causing nonsense. Joe, oh no, yes, oh. See, Joe is so amazing. Pussy licks him. So here we go. Coming to America, great freer mindset. We're getting some amazing picks in the live chat. Joe Dirt, John Haymaker says, Joe Dirt rules. I know Joe is a fan of, I don't think probably not going to make Joe's list for favorite comedies, but I do know that Joe is a fan of Joe Dirt. Okay, so which one of you, two Utes. Okay, Joe, so let me try to think. What is your comedy pick going to be? It might be Monty Python. It might be Mel Brooksian. It might be something like Blazing Saddles. God, this is tough. This is honestly tough because some of these other ones I feel like I could almost kind of pick what your pick would be for funny stuff. So I'm gonna go with a safe, stupid sort of layup pick to see if you possibly did something. I could see you trolling this whole competition and doing something. I'm gonna say The Princess Bride. You're gonna say The Princess Bride for everything. You're gonna try to break the contest by saying your answer to each one of these questions is The Princess Bride. It's a drama. It's an action movie. It's a rom-com. It could be a horror movie with the rats. It could even be a western with some of the now you'd pick a real western. It could be a superhero movie. The Dread Pirate Roberts is such a superhero, and so is Inigo Montoya. It could totally be martial arts if you want to view the fencing in that light.
No, it's not martial arts.
He does a backflip. I mean, but you're looking forward to mentioning martial arts in Western because you're going to educate me. Sports. It's sports. Fencing is a sport in the Olympics. It's a sport. Fantasy. Duh. Science fiction. Well, there's time travel because Fred Savage is taught. No, that'd be tougher. Crime and Mafia would be tough. Okay, but anyways, am I right? Is your comedy pick The Princess Bride?
Well, I was going to do that, Phil.
So, I know you well enough to know you will think to troll if you can troll.
Here's the thing. That was going to be my joke. And because I've said it so many times that it fits all those. It's my favorite movie of all time. It fits so many different genres that if you called it a rom-com, it's my favorite rom-com. If you called it a comedy, it's my favorite comedy.
It depends where you want to put it, really, tonight.
Right. So what I did was I left that movie out of this because that is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, Joe.
Which isn't on this list.
Joe, I will applaud you for doing that. I also did something similar. I almost took my favorite movie of all time out of consideration because I felt like I wouldn't.
You should do that now. And
I know I did. My spoiler alert for what you know is probably my favorite movie. It is not on my list when we get to Mafia and Crime.
Yep.
It's not. I purposely left it on because I've seen it too much when I'm sick. It's my like when I was getting out of the hospital in 2015. It was like that's what I just watched on loop. I don't think clear with that one. And by the way, everyone, new channel members, I added a few more emojis tonight. New emojis. We've got for Joe. I've got the inconceivable. I don't know if you can see the live chat, Joe, but we got Vincini's face.
Vincini.
And then I added Dr. McCoy taking down the two the two Last of Us ones for now. They'll come back. They'll come back when the season comes back. And
I like these two better. These two deserve to stay.
Yeah, these two to stay. And if we get one more channel member, we get another one unlocked as well. So thank you so much. Please use our
They might be two of the best characters from both their respective realms.
Yeah, I thought I made good. I don't want to pat myself on the balls here, but
there's a lot of people who don't like Bones, but they just don't understand Bones.
And with our show, we kind of needed to have Bones. Jen says totally get you guys on the leaving the bit. Yeah, it's hard not to just be biased with that one. So that
it literally is my favorite movie of all time, and I will argue with anybody till I'm blue in the face that it's better than any one of their movies that fit any of the genres that it fits.
Now, Joe, I want to do this an interesting way here. Now, you try to guess what mine is. What would be my favorite?
Godfather.
That's not comedy.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. You're right about that. Yes, The Godfather is not on this list.
All time, right?
Yeah. What is my favorite comedy? Now, before you disclose what your pick is, what's your guess for what mine would be? So, because I was wrong. I'm wrong on number one. Wrong.
Well, no, because you were right. I was going to lead with that, Phil. I was going to lead with The Princess Bride.
Okay. So I knew you.
We'll give you a 0.5 there. We'll give you a 0.5 margin because I really was going to answer that at the beginning of every one of these.
Good.
I give you my second.
I saw you. You are an asshole to do that.
But I thought about that and I was going to do it, and no, I basically left it off the list because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go, sweetheart. You cannot stay.
So we got Miss Duncan the Tall in the live chat. Thank you, everyone that's in the live chat. Keep sharing this, liking this, sharing your picks for your favorites. Call on in. Leave us some voicemails if you want to do that. 781-990-8509. And pour yourself another drink. So, Joe, what is some of your guesses or your guess for mine as comedy? Dude.
See, now this is going to be very, very tough because you have very strange tastes, and like I could easily say like any of the Trey and Matt, like even the anime South Park movie or the puppet one.
Yeah, it's Team America. Yep,
Team America.
Yeah, all very big possibilities, Joe.
But I'm going to trust you left those to the anime. See, this is something we talked about pre-show a little bit, that there's so many different movies that fit so many different genres, but we tried to fit them where they actually belong.
Yep,
so
we tried our best.
Didn't pick one of those two. So I'm going to go with... Wait, you don't want to actually take a real pick at mine either?
I mean, I lost. I said I lost on that one.
Oh, okay. So we won't give you the 0.5.
No, I don't get anything.
All right, we'll say Blazing Saddles.
No, good pick, Joe. No points for either of us. My pick, I'll tell you, and then we can go over to you because I'll rationalize mine a little bit here with a couple of choices. I had a tough one with the comedy, Joe. Blazing Saddles was definitely a Mel Brooks comedy that I wanted to mention. Believe it or not, Bill and Ted and Wayne's World are both there. I love both those franchises and they crack me up. Groundhog's Day was there for a while. I defaulted to pick Groundhog's Day, but then I realized...
Oh yeah, Jesus, that movie hasn't even crossed my mind while thinking of this whole time.
But I almost view it a little bit more as a dramedy.
Yeah, okay.
So I couldn't...
A black comedy.
Yeah, I just couldn't quite go there. Ghostbusters as well. Back to School was on my list because Rodney's just hilarious in that movie. But again, not my pick. And then it came down ultimately to two movies. One's a Farrelly Brothers movie, and the other's my pick. The Farrelly Brothers movie is... No. It is... Is
that Farrelly Brothers?
No, Kingpin. I love... Kingpin. I watched it so many times.
That's extremely funny.
Underrated Bill Murray movie in the sense of like the part that he plays in it.
That's such a great movie.
Woody's incredible in it. Randy Quaid might be crazy as shit, but he's good in comedy movies. And it's just a perfect perfect sort of, and I really liked The Color of Money growing up, and it's a Color of Money spoof without really trying too hard to be it, and I just love it, but it's not my pick. My pick has been mentioned a couple of times in the live chat, Joe, and I can't.
Yeah. Animal House.
No. Great pick too. It is My Cousin Vinny. I can
see that was up there.
I laugh so much.
That was an honorable mention for me.
It makes me laugh consistently more than any other movie.
Blend.
Yeah, you two youths. What the like? Joe Pesci is next level hilarious in it, and Marissa Tomei has some of the best comic.
She's gorgeous.
She is, but she also has some of the best comedic timing ever. Like you see her on the live. I don't know if you watch those. The live All in the Family thing with her and Woody Harrelson, and Woody was playing Archie and she was playing Edith. She stole the show every time. She's just so witty.
She's fantastic.
In those Spider-Man movies at Aunt May, she's so funny. She's the funniest thing in those movies for me. I think she's in her bit.
She's great in What Women Want.
Everything. Like
movie.
Every time she does comedy, it cracks me the fuck up, and that's maybe her best role. I think she won the Oscar for comedy in that performance. So my pick for favorite comedy, Joe, is
she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
In My Cousin Vinny. For a comedy, it's fucking tough to do. So in The Judge is hilarious. It's got what's his name from the Pauly Shore movie. He's in a ton of stuff, but that old guy playing the prosecuting attorney is always the Mighty Ducks. The Emilio Estevez's Mighty Duck, Coach Harris, or whatever his name is in that movie. I love it, Joe. My pick is My Cousin Vinny.
Good pick, great pick. I didn't realize that would be your favorite comedy.
It was tough.
It wouldn't even have, like, it's an honorable mention. It's like a top 3, top 4, like for like comedies of mine. I can watch it anytime, any place, anywhere. Other ones I could, like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, a great movie, dude. Yeah, especially the first half of it. The first half especially is really good. You don't have no legs, Lieutenant Dick. I lose it every single time.
Yep. Sorry, I had to fight at your Black Panther party.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. And
like there's so many.
There's so many great
parts
and great one-liners.
So many hilarious parts. Like even non-one-liners. Like oh shit happens, but you don't catch it's not a one-liner until he shows the T-shirt with the face, right? Like
Phil and Joe, before Joe gets his picks, Phil will take some of the chat in reaction to what I said. Phil and Joe, do you consider Nightmare on Elm Street dark comedy? From parts 3 onward, yes. I would say
horror comedy, not dark comedy.
Okay,
they're not really dark comedies.
Better.
Anything that's funny in them is almost slapstick. The horror is almost slapstick. There becomes a point where to me, there's no difference between any fucking horror movie and any fucking scary movie.
Right. But I would
like from the scary movie franchise.
And I would say Nightmare on Elm Street gets goofy later. Freddy Krueger was hilarious to me as in doubt. Me too, Sonic. And I will talk about Freddy later, maybe. Jen says, I never watched My Cousin Vinny. Just a good excuse to get to watch it now. It would still hold up. It's a courtroom kind of movie, so those kind of movies tend to hold up over time. And it almost has a 70s-ish movie feel in the 90s anyway, so I think it's a movie that would hold up over time. This is true love. It happens every day. Big Daddy, great to see Big Daddy in the live chat.
Hey.
Killmonger says, when I first, different Big Daddy, Joe. When I first watched My Cousin Vinny, I'm like, how did he get with her? Good damn question, but then you see the movie and you can kind of get it. Kingpin is one of my favorite Scamular bit. It really is. It's an underrated movie because Something About Mary and even Me, Myself, and Irene and some of their other movies get more attention than Kingpin does because it's grosser at times. It's got that, the part which always fucking disgusted me. But it's a great movie. So, sorry, Joe. Little Shop of Horrors is an amazing movie and maybe on my nomination list for musicals.
Great. Both of them, Jack Nicholson and Bill Murray.
Yep.
Both versions.
I love how, Joe, this is why I love you. I love how you categorize the two movies by the bit part of the dentist, the patient in the dentist's office.
That's the best way.
It is. I mean,
that's the best way to categorize those two movies.
Like, I don't know who the other guy besides Rick Moranis was, but I do know those two guys, right?
Yep.
Anyways, what's your comedy?
History of the World Part 1.
Great pick.
My all-time favorite comedy that's not The Princess Bride is History of the World Part 1.
Joe, I didn't mention it, but if I had picked a Mel Brooks movie, that probably would have been the one. it just has so much. It has that some people are down on the musical section in the middle, but I think it kind of makes the movie. I really love the Inquisition song.
Yep. And there's also Mel Brooks has that musical moment in all of his movies, or in so many of his movies, and it puts them in the variety or musical category uh, nomination runnings. I think that's part of the reason why he did it. Also, the era in which he grew up watching movies and watching films and learning about all this shit was the 40s and the 50s. And every fucking movie in the world back then pretty much had some sort of fucking song or song and dance or musical
they had
number.
to.
It was almost like if it's not there, you're not making a blockbuster fucking movie, because everybody wanted to see that. That was so much of everyday life. Everybody knew how to do all these dances because TV and whatever.
And Joe, and to that point, that's what made Mel Brooks so hilarious at the time, because he took that and he took it into the Inquisition.
Into over fucking time, dude. He took that shit like he was spoofing it.
We're on a
Those
mission.
are all like some of the original spoof movies right there. Like, they're great.
Yeah,
like,
and they're also just
great
movies. They're like the buddy comedy in that vibe between him and tap dance. I can't think. Gregory Hines. They just have excellent chemistry.
Gregory
in that
Hines
movie.
is one of my favorite actors and dancers of all time. Definitely one of my favorite tap dancers.
I mean, that's like he's maybe one of the greatest tap dancer of all time. But he's an underrated actor for his comedic timing, and he shows so much of it in that movie. He's one of those performers that just gets forgotten about over time, but he is an amazing talent. If people haven't seen the movie Tap, it's not going to be on this list tonight, but especially the first half of that movie, there's a scene where Gregory Hines is in this dance studio with Sammy Davis and like all the legends of tap dance, and they all have this big, huge battle that is one of the greatest scenes in all of cinema. Like, seriously, if you're a percussionist, a dance fan, or a musical theater fan, it's just incredible. They're all battling. And then at the end, Gregory Hines straps on, and I know we're talking about history of the world, but I love this part. He straps on guitar pickups to it's in the most 80s scene at the end of this movie. He straps on pickups to his tap dancing shoes, and they put an 80s synthesizer onto it, and he makes 80s music while he's dancing. It's amazing. It's really a good movie, cheesy movie. But History of the World Part 2, Joe, Part 1, I agree. Some may argue it's not Mel Brooks' best, but I would argue it's his funniest.
I think it is.
I think it's his funniest, movie. And I don't know if it's his best movie, but it's his funniest.
Dude, here's the thing. Like, Frankenstein is one of his, right?
Young Frankenstein, yeah, Young
Frankenstein.
Right, that might
great.
be.
It's funny. It's great. It's funny. I love it. I love Gene in it. All that. Like, same thing with Blazing Saddles. Same thing with Francisco Kid also with Gene. I don't know, but
Spaceballs, obviously.
Spaceballs is great.
High Anxiety is a great movie.
Right, but ultimately,
History
of the World, like, see, time period. There's a big laugh in every fucking time period.
Yeah.
You're going to, have a good time laughing throughout this whole fucking movie.
Joe.
It doesn't really let up. It's over the top. If you like a little bit of what Mel Brooks does, this is him at his best.
And it's maybe his funniest on-screen performance too.
I agree.
It's good to be the king. Like, and even when he's singing and dancing in the Inquisition stuff, him as a star of a movie works sometimes really good. Sometimes it works better when he's behind the camera. This is his best Mel Brooks on camera role from beginning to end, by far.
Like Blazing Saddles, one of my favorite actual musical moments in any Mel Brooks anything is from Blazing Saddles, where he's dancing as a Nazi behind what's her fucking name?
Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn, yeah. Doing her I'm so tired.
I'm so tired. Yeah, it's real. It's
It's tired
music
of
is such a great
being
part. But
admired.
what gets me with History of the World, Joe, is all those little things. Someone in the live chat just said it, like when Moses, the Ten Commandments thing, dropping it and getting robbed, like raising his hands, like all the little touches, and then the little vignette at the end with Hitler on ice, and you just said the N-word Nazi, and I said Hitler in 2 minutes, or our whole video is gonna get demonetized here on YouTube today. Anyways, so it's just such a multi-layered, interesting movie. So yeah, I love that pick, and it's something I'm glad you mentioned it so we could talk about it. Mel Brooks is a genius, and that's one of those pinnacle movies, almost like the Beatles' White Album of his stuff. There's just so much packed in. It's like a triple album where you get that whole intro section, you get the song and dance stuff, and then you get the two big movie parts in the situation. Gen Hack, Spaceballs was met to me. A lot of people, Spaceballs was a disappointment too.
It doesn't really hold, like, after how bad the Star Wars movies have gotten, Spaceballs doesn't hold up. I mean, it almost makes it like this is what it's going to become to, guys. This is what you're going to end up with in the future, guys.
So yeah, with how bad Star Wars go, you're like,
Exactly.
Spaceballs ain't too bad.
It's almost like foreshadowing.
So
it ends up not being as funny somehow.
Let's read in the live chat. Killmonger, don't be a menace in South Central while drinking your gin and juice in the hood. Great movie. Spaceballs was meh. George Lucas even loved Spaceballs. Me Tap was amazing for your mind. Yeah, the challenge scenes were incredible for your mind. Scott, great to see Scott in the live chat. As Randy said, you have Moses getting robbed. Top comedy after 2010. When was Superbad? I thought Superbad was really, really freaking funny. What year did Superbad come out? That would be my pick, probably.
Excuse me. Early 2000s, like 2004.
Okay, so
some shit like that.
It's 2007. So no, I'd have to pick something else. Best comedy after 2010.
Oh, I don't even know. I can't do something like that.
It would be tough for me. I could if I stopped.
Just because you weren't born before 2010 doesn't mean movies weren't around.
Game Night.
Catch up.
Game Night was good. That movie Game Night was really good. And I also kind of like Tag, even though it was stupid.
Tag was fucking awesome.
It was stupid, but it was hilarious. Funny. Tag cracked me up. So Tag,
I love that movie.
Tag or Game Night.
I've watched that like 10 times already.
So Tag was incredible. The Ham is amazing in Tag. I love when the Ham does comedy. John Hamm is one of those guys that did one dramatic part so well that it always feels so interesting seeing him do comedy and realizing that he has excellent comedic timing. The other guys, when was The Hangover? Game Night was good. I liked Game Night a lot. I was surprised by it. Same with Tag. Those are two movies that I went in expecting to just kind of not watch them and not give a crap in the background. The Weird Al biopic movie, I really
I mean, we're gonna spend all night talking about comedy.
No, we're jumping to the next category now, Joe, but like I just want to make sure I get anyone else. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. By all means, keep comedies coming in so we can keep talking about different subjects, throughout the evening.
We gotta switch gears.
But we're gonna move on to what's gonna be, for me, I guess, a lesser category to talk to, because this became, even though I love a lot of dramatic movies, Joe, this became a very obvious choice for me. Very obvious.
Let's hear it.
What do you think my pick is?
For drama?
Yeah. What's my obvious pick for drama?
I'm gonna say, just to troll me, you picked Birdman.
No, I thought about it. Birdman is not on my list anywhere, Joe. I'm not trying to troll you tonight. We're doing this for real. This is for realsies.
What's the movie with Hit Girl? I'll tell you in a few minutes, Sonic. I'll definitely be telling you in a few minutes.
So what is your pick, Joe?
For you?
Yes.
I just said.
No, that's not. You're incorrect. So
okay, because that was honestly what I thought you was gonna pick.
What do I think you're gonna pick? This is a tough one for me. I'm not sure about it. All of these are tough for me. Because you're saying I have weird taste. I'm like you have weird taste. You like everything. You're when it comes to movies, you're a little bit less, except for Birdman. You tend to like movies. The Usual Suspects. No.
For drama?
No, wouldn't that be like a thriller? Probably more of a
Crime.
crime movie. Drama movie. I don't know, Joe. I'm gonna plead I don't know, Joe. I don't know. What is your drama pick? You go first this
Oh,
time.
you got to pick.
Fuck. Let's see. Not The Godfather. Joe would not pick The Godfather. Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction.
That's crime again. That's crime again.
So you can't just shout down any of my picks. So I'm wrong. I don't know what your drama would be. I don't know what you consider drama.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, you go first this time.
Requiem of a Dream.
Oh, I should have known that. I should have known that. Ass to ass. Fuck. I'm angry at myself for not knowing that. I am angry. And we'll talk about these picks in a second. Joe says Requiem for a Dream. It's a movie, Joe, honestly. The reason why
it's a movie you don't really want to watch more than
I
once
don't want to even think about it.
So fucking good.
Especially when you grew up in the circles we grew up in. It rings true. Like if I'm watching The Wrestler or I'm watching Black Swan or one of other Aronofsky's movies that make you feel fucking horrible, I can't necessarily relate to the life. And I'm not saying we lived that exact life, but we definitely lived associate of that life. You know, it wasn't too far away from some of the stuff we grew up in. We knew people that were in that kind of life, and we were close to some of those people, even if you and I particularly weren't directly. So there is some sort of like realness to that movie that makes it very uncomfortable when I watched it. And I haven't thought about it much since I've watched it because it's horrifying, but it's so well. Maybe Marlon Wayans is incredible in that movie. It's
his best performance ever.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He does some great comedy. Comedy's subjective, but he's a funny guy. He's done some good roles, some good dramatic roles, but he takes it to a next level in that performance. And it's just an overall incredibly great movie.
Everyone in that movie takes it to the next level, even Mac.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it reminds me a little bit of a movie like Drugstore Cowboy, but Drugstore Cowboy even glorifies it a little bit more than this movie does. This movie never.
This movie, there's no glory.
And do you know who else is amazing? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I'm remembering the actress wrong. Beverly D'Angelo is unbelievable.
Wrong.
Who's the older actress that plays the mom?
I always keep saying it's the one from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but it's not her. It's
Nurse Ratched? No.
Yeah, but it's someone else. I can never remember her name, but whenever I see her, I get very excited. Yeah, she's amazing.
For some reason, I thought it was Beverly D'Angelo. We've got Chrissy in the live chat. Great to see Chrissy. We got Casey, Randy, Sonic, Scott. Fandom D Saint is in the live chat. Beautiful Mind, someone picked for drama. That is a very good movie. Beautiful Mind. Awakenings is another movie that I considered putting on my list. I really love the drama movie Awakenings.
There's so many
good dramas, Joe.
Dramas out there.
But my pick,
I started thinking about dramas, and I was like, which reminds.
No, what were you gonna say?
I'll say it later.
Okay, so
my list is in front of me.
Okay,
and it's written in my notes here. So.
Okay, as long as you don't forget. I went down a bad rabbit hole with this, Joe, too. With that, if we pick dramas, we missed a category. We missed biopic. If biopic should have been its own category, because there's some really good, there's some bad ones too, but there's some really good biopic dramas.
Does The Doors count as a biopic?
Or a musical? Or Ray? Right. What does Ray count as? Is Ray a musical? Is it a bio? So I feel like in our part two to this,
sports.
In our part two list, it could be if we wanted to choose one of those for sports and music. That's my point. But we should have a biopic list, and that's one of the ones that will be added to part two to this podcast that will happen in a couple months, because it came down for me for a couple movies. I really was taken by surprise how much I loved the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. I know it's not going to be a movie for everyone. It is over the top, intense from beginning to end. What was that?
Is that your drama?
It's not. No, it's my number 2 pick. Or not number 2 pick. It's like my honorable mention because I just like it and it's more recent and I love Martin Scorsese and I want to talk about Martin Scorsese for a second. The fact that he continues to make movies, and he can do his old style with something like The Irishman, but he can also make movies that feel very current and now. And this was an example of a movie that came out at the time and just really captured me. I saw it in the theater, and it like I just really loved it. I love Leo's performance in it. I love Jonah Hill's performance in it. It's just over the top craziness from beginning to end in a perfect Scorsese film that fits with Casino and Goodfellas in that pile of epic Scorsese movies. But it's not my favorite. My favorite, and I feel like it's no question, is Shawshank Redemption. Like, Shawshank Redemption is the best drama movie of all. I'd even maybe argue it's the best drama movie of all time. So my pick for my favorite, and Joe's giving me that. He's about to Joe rant at me. It would be the Shawshank Redemption would be my favorite drama movie of all time.
It's a great movie, but and it was up against Gump that year for Best Picture. It's a great movie. I love that movie. I've seen that one a dozen times.
Are you just more surprised with my picks?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, I am far more surprised with your picks than I am at the fact that they're good movies.
So
they're good movies. They're great movies.
So far, my picks are Kingpin. My Cousin Vinny and The Shawshank Redemption. Joe is History of the World Part 1, and your drama pick was Requiem for a Dream.
Yes.
So Shawshank is my pick as well, says Chrissy. Thought Pesci was dramatic when he stuck a pen in someone's neck in Casino. Jen Hack, that was fucking awesome. Pesci is incredible. And I know it's what you don't know is Joe Pesci was also in Home Alone. I mean, yes, everyone knows that. But it's amazing that he can play a character like the Home Alone character, too.
You keep him here. I'll be right back.
And maybe one of our greatest on show, and I don't want to be too meta about our own stupid fucking show, but Joe's fucking okay, Leo Getz, the whole Leo Getz thing is a completely different character from all of his Mafia-like characters. So it's not like he's a Joe trope here in playing Pesci in every role. He has an element of Pesci, but he really does become a different character in some of his roles. Look at Casino versus Goodfellas. He's very much a different character in both those roles. He's not quite the same kind of psycho. He's a different.
Raging Bull. Oh,
he's incredible in Raging Bull too. As much as De Niro gets all the credit, Pesci almost steals that show. He is amazing. Oh my God, I love My Cousin Vinny. Isn't that a comedy though? Yes, Chrissy, what we're doing tonight, because to the people that are just tuning in, tonight what we're doing is we're going down a list. You can check it out. The categories are in the message that's pinned to the top. Please make your picks. The categories, we've done the first two so far, comedy and drama. We're going to be going through our favorite movies in all these categories and, of course, getting your thoughts in the live chat as well and sharing those. Thank you, everyone that's checking this out tonight. If you haven't, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, but more importantly, share this out so we get more and more people and more and more opinions on people's favorite movies tonight, because we don't get to talk about movies too often. So I'm excited, Joe. I'm happy to get to talk about something we don't often get to talk about here. But yeah, and I know someone said Wolf of Wall Street's more of a dark comedy. It is more of a dark comedy. It gets serious at the end. That's why another reason why I couldn't pick it, because to Joe's point, what we were talking about before the show, there's qualifiers here. When we're doing lists like this isn't us drunk at a bar, even though it kind of feels like this sometimes, arguing about this. We're trying to have some rules. So if I'm like, yeah, this doesn't quite qualify, I can't quite put it there. I could have put Groundhog's Day here, but it's too funny. It's almost too serious to be a comedy, my top comedy, and too funny to be my favorite drama.
This is a good time to bring up what I was going to say.
Titanic would be on this list as well.
So there is this next category that we're going to come up with.
Action. Right? Very, very, very wide net I'm putting on that one.
Okay, there is a movie that isn't on my list that I love. It's one of my favorite all-time
Joe,
movies.
you look very Dr. Evil right now.
But it didn't go on my list because it could have fit any one of these three categories, or a fourth category that we didn't choose, which is dark comedy.
Yeah, we didn't choose dark comedy. We could have been more specific with comedies to a certain extent.
Like we have rom-com and we have comedy, but we didn't choose dark comedy on top of it. So there's a specific movie that fits any one of the first three categories as probably my second, because all of the three that were the action one being the third that we're about to mention, there's a better pick in those spots.
Yeah, I
But
hear you.
if we had dark comedy, this movie would be in my dark comedy spot.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that, Joe, as much as it's good to do one and done and have things be the ultimate lists, we'll do something like this again. There's too much hanger-ons on the list. We might even do one cast. The next one we do like this, the movie one, just do the ones we forgot, and call it the Ones We Forgot podcast, so we can just talk about just any ones that didn't quite fit a place in the list, that fit a different genre like that, because we did miss that. We could pick Christmas movie. We could do buddy comedy, buddy action movie. We can get very specific with this and do different ones. I think I wanted to stay sort of generalized. To move on to action, and we'll take some chat in a second here, because action for me, I think, is going to be more descriptive and more detailed for you than it is for me. I have more of a rudimentary sort of action kind of taste. There's a lot of action movies I like. But when it comes to my favorite one, one kept popping up in my mind, Joe. Do you have a guess for what you think it might be?
Your favorite action movie?
Yes. I had a couple I wanted to pick here, but
Braveheart.
Good pick. Very good pick. If I was picking my best one, that would be, even though it's a fun movie to pick apart with the historic accuracy of it, I highly recommend the History Buffs.
And that's another one. We didn't do historic pieces.
Right, historic films.
Braveheart didn't make my list because I would have put that in historic.
No, Joe.
Even though there are historic pieces in my list.
So far we're in 0 for 3 here, right? Oh, shit, Scott. I didn't even think about that movie when making this list. So
that's the one, Scott. That's the one.
Should we just talk? I didn't know. I wouldn't have known where to put it.
Dark comedy pick, and I didn't choose it for comedy because it's too dark. It could be
a drama too.
Like,
right?
I laugh out loud all the time, and it could be drama because it's a really sad fucking story when you think about it, and also could be action because of all the fighting and all the other shit that goes on.
That's a difficult movie to categorize.
So it could be any one of those three. And technically,
it could be sci-fi-ish.
It can no, not really. It can also fit rom-com, dark rom-com. No, because
maybe with
Bonham Carter,
with John Bonham Carter there, or whatever. So yeah, I that is a hard movie, and for some reason, completely slipped my mind when making this list. I don't know where I would have categorized it. We should just do a live watch of Fight Club, Joe. Have you come by one time, and that'll be the next movie live watch we do. Because
that is
it deserves its own.
Literally my second favorite movie of all time. First being The Princess Bride, second being
Chrissy says Fight Club was effed up. Psychological thriller drama. Exactly, Peter. We should have done
it. It fits so many different categories that I didn't pick it. Like, again, for the same reason why I didn't pick The Princess Bride. And we didn't actually, the category I would put this in, which would be dark comedy or dark rom-com or something.
I would probably put it in drama. I mean, maybe. But
drama is the closest of what it fits.
But I don't know.
Action. It's got a lot of
action. I agree. So speaking of action, Killmonger says Bad Boys 2 is Sirico. Fantastic to catch a stream. Borello, it's great to see you. It's so amazing to have you. I know the time zone thing is hard. Joe and I have been trying to stream a little bit earlier here.
So
it's great to see you. Fractal Curve, The Life of Brian is the funniest movie. Great dark comedy. Hell yeah, says Jen Hack. So many great dark comedies. Even though it's not a popular movie, Joe, the amount of times we watched American Strays, which is a really great dark comedy.
Oh, great dark comedy.
Really great dark comedy. We got Chrissy. We got Sonic says Rambo 1, 2, and 3. Jen Hack says she should write a list of all the fucking movies you guys are fucking they're talking about that I haven't seen. Freedom! Eastwood should have been in Princess Bride. Eastwood would have been great somewhere in Princess Bride. So for action movie, Joe, I guess I'll just say mine and we'll go to you because you'll have more to say with action. There's a lot of movies I wanted to pick.
Did you get my action?
What was that?
You didn't guess my
I'll do it. I'll guess it after
Okay,
I
so
say mine.
what did I just guess for you? I guessed Braveheart.
Braveheart, which is not Braveheart. It's it's a little bit more of a modern movie. And there was a lot of ones I wanted to pick. I kind of almost wanted to pick like Face Off or something ridiculous like that because I really like over the top John Woo kind of craziness. But it was hard for me not to pick Terminator 2. I just loved it so much when it came
That
out.
is a great pick,
I just
dude.
loved it
And it's a
so goddamn much.
great sequel, great picture.
Maybe the best
great
sequel of
movie.
all time if it wasn't for Godfather 2.
No,
It's
second
just
best.
second best sequel to what would you say was the best? Empire Strikes.
We'll get there.
Okay. Whoa, we will get there. Okay.
We'll get there.
So Terminator 2, yeah, I like Terminator 1, and I kind of think some of the movies after Terminator 2 are okay, but Terminator 2 is my favorite action movie. It just straight up is. Some of those action, it still holds up. The effects to this day still fucking hold up. It's really fun to watch. It's a really fun story. T-1000 is an intimidating villain. There's so much shit going on in that movie, and it's interesting and it's cool, and that's my pick, Joe.
My cat is just sitting at my feet.
Is John Wick considered action? Absolutely.
Yep, 100%.
I think Joe's about to pick it. Actually, that might be my pick. That might be my pick right there.
Oh wait, are you gonna?
I think so. I know how much you like the fucking John Wick movies, but I don't know if you consider that martial arts. But I don't think you're gonna pick that.
Well, that's gun fu.
Gung Fu. Okay. Would you consider that action? Would you consider it action? No.
John Wick?
Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick.
So I might be wrong, but I'm gonna go with the John Wick movies.
You got it.
Nice. I got one. 1 point for me. Yes.
You got it, but
do you have a specific one?
There's a caveat to that.
Matrix is action or sci-fi, I would say.
I don't know about sci-fi.
Yeah, oh, come on, dude. It's like yeah, fuck you. Matrix is definitely sci-fi.
Oh, Matrix is sci-fi. Yes,
Yeah.
Matrix. Yes.
Matrix.
Oh shit, that's a good pick too. But I didn't have John Wick as my pick until
don't be a dick.
Until after my list was made. I got up to leave the room and it hit me on my way out of the room. But as curiosity hits me, because you did get that one, we're giving you the point.
Woo, 1 point for me.
Can you guess either one of the two that I was going to be like, I can't decide which one of these two movies?
Oh, now you're making me use my brain to do this. Oh,
but I will give you a hint.
Saving Private
Now,
Ryan.
I want you to guess both of them, okay?
Yeah.
But wait, pick. What did you just say? I was going to give you a hint. I don't think I need to.
Saving Private Ryan.
What's the other one?
I don't know the other one, but it's another. Give me the hint for the second one.
They're both war.
Okay, is it Full Metal Jacket or something?
No, it's the big competition to Full Metal Jacket.
Platoon.
Even Platoon. Because I just watched that movie so many times.
I know your action.
Only VHS.
See, this makes me happy because I feel like I know your action taste more than I know other movies taste.
Depp's
I was almost
Forrest
3 for
Whitaker's
3.
in it, and Willem Dafoe and Tom Berenger, and it's just fucking packed with some of my favorite fucking stars. And I've seen it so many fucking times.
I was almost 3 for 3 on that one.
But you were almost 3 for 3 in my action pick.
Oh,
so
my
Saving
fuck.
Private Ryan was my original write down. I wrote down Saving Private Ryan, and then I went, or Platoon.
I almost picked Saving Private.
I went right to Platoon, so I was like, and then like my list was done, and I got up to go pee, and I was like, John Wick. How did I not think of John Wick? John Wick gets it. I know it's brand new, and I haven't seen it probably as many times.
No. Recency bias. We're old men.
But like, they kill a fucking dog, and all you want after that, a puppy, and all you want after that is for this man to do exactly what he did. And every fucking person he kills, every fucking bullet he shoots, you are so on board with. Whole fucking way. Right? Like, let's do this, motherfucker. You want to fucking harm my statue? I'm going to burn your house down, your parents' house down, your children's house down, your grandparents' house down. I'm going to, like, come on now. Right?
So great pick. Let's get in the live chat. Jen says 3 for 3. 3 for 3. Thank you, Jen. I'm taking it. I like the new Planet of the Apes too. Planet of the Apes, you dirty, disgusting.
Oh, the new Planet of the Apes, it doesn't get enough credit.
You mean the Andy Serkis ones, right? Not the Marky Mark.
No, I'm talking about the Marky Mark is the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the series.
the three series ones also. And that's the
I
one
like
that
the
I
three.
think is
I like the
underrated.
three. I like the three series ones, and I
I
like the
think the one
original
that's underrated is the Marky
Mark.
Mark one, because of course that's the one that's rated
And it's the one that,
horribly.
because it gets compared to one of the best movies of all time, the original Planet of the Apes, which definitely deserves its credit. And speaking of
It's
space,
not one of the best movies of all time, but it is a guilty pleasure. It's a good bad.
it's okay.
It's a B movie. It's one of the best B
One of the
movies.
most one of the most iconic movies of all time.
One of the best B movies and one of the best B sci-fi movies of all
Yes.
time.
And speaking of Spaceballs, it's also thrown in Spaceballs as a spoof at the end when they climb out of the Mega Maid's nose. Oh shit! Yeah. Here are the Spaceballs. There goes the planet.
Yeah.
Play the Taken. The first one says I See Fury. Great movie. Taken. The first one. Joe, do you have a specific John Wick? We got
So Taken, the first Taken doesn't make my list. Because I'm pissed. In the previews, he stabs that dude in the leg that he electrocutes. And me and my dad went to go see that movie.
And they didn't show it in the...
As soon as it was over, he was like, they never stabbed him in the leg. And I was like, motherfuckers. We talked about that. Like, oh yeah, as soon as I saw that in the previews, I was like, I gotta go see this movie. Both of us. And they cut it out from the actual movie. So Taken will not make my list, but it's a great movie.
John Wick 2 is the favorite of the bunch. Have I mentioned Fifth Element yet? No, but it will get a mention a little bit later, Kyle. Set It Off is great. Gladiator, John Wick. Gladiator's a good pick. Hey, John Wick for me. John Wick Part 1, John Wick Part 2. Dark Knight Nolan was the best thing to happen to see. Okay, so Joe, before we move on, a couple things. First, do you have a specific John Wick? We got two picks in the live chat right now. You say the first one. Fandom says the first one too, and someone else said the second.
I haven't seen them before yet.
I haven't seen the new one yet either, but I do like them a lot. Original Westworld with Yul Brynner. That's a good movie as well. Fun movie, good BE kind of movie. Bunch of great picks. Joe, do you want to? We've gotten 3 categories down right now.
Hold on, I want to give you retired nurses.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to read some retired nurse stuff for these first 3 categories?
So for comedy, Abbott and Costello Meet Dracula,
great,
The Mummy,
really funny movie.
Wolfman, Dr. Jekyll, and The Invisible Man.
Did you like those movies? Did you like those movies when you were a kid? I definitely did.
I did. Not so much. The Abbott and Costello, maybe a little bit, but
more The Stooges.
Yep. For drama, she says The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn.
Classic.
That's a great movie.
Classic movie. Yep.
Ingrid Bergman also.
Body.
And what she didn't have. Okay, good. Comedy. She's got musical here. Let's see what else. Hold on.
So yeah, look and see. We got comedy or action if she has any. A couple people in the live chat while Joe's looking on the list. Lady says
she's got musicals listed also, and horrors listed.
Cool. So we'll get the retired nurses picks as we're going, and let's get into the live chat for a second. Lady Fairchild, great name, Lady Fairchild, says Fish Called Wanda, very funny movie, and also
great movie.
And the follow-up movie that they did, I always blank on the name on. That was just a really funny cast of people working together. And what's his name? The main actor that's in a lot of stuff. I'm blanking on his name.
John Cleese.
Not John Cleese.
You're not talking about Cleese.
Cleese, obviously, but Dave, whatever that guy's name is, played Dave in the movie Dave. Like he's really funny.
Yeah.
And what's her name's very funny too. Jen Hack just watched that movie last
night. He's in Bob's Burgers. He plays the guy that owns all the property and shit, that owns the Wonder War.
Sonic, your boys, asks us what the best Batman is. I'm just gonna say, wait on that question.
Who's he married to? Someone's like.
We're gonna talk about Batman later. I promise.
What? He's married to what? Someone like.
Joe got muted for a second, or got disconnected for a second.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry about that.
Oh, no. You're back. I thought it was me for a second. I did not mute Joe to tell him to shut up there. I actually was curious what he was going to say.
Yeah, what was that guy's name? He's married to someone super fucking hot, too.
Oh, we've got the awesome, my other podcasting friend, Tony Teflon, in the live chat. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Teflon TV. Make sure to check out all of Tony's From stuff right now. He says for comedies,
Kevin Kline. Oh,
Kevin Kline, yeah, Kevin Kline. Don't be a menace while drinking your gin and juice in the hood. Absolutely. Someone else
Great.
picked that earlier
Fucking
as
hilarious
well,
movie.
Tony. Great freaking movie. Thank you for Tony popping in the live chat. So far, just to go back on our picks so far, Joe's favorite comedy was History of the World, but he mentioned a lot of other really funny ones. Mine was My Cousin Vinny. And best
He's
favorite.
married to Phoebe Cates. That's right.
Oh, Phoebe Cates, golly.
I told you.
I suddenly want to think about Santa Claus getting trapped in a chimney.
Yeah, and
I can relate to you, baby.
thinking about fucking red bikinis and pirate outfits.
Yeah. We're all
Times.
we're all. I think that's why everyone liked what's his name for a few years, not because he was a good actor, because we could all relate to him, Judge Reinhold. Yeah, just we were all Judge Reinhold in that bathroom looking at Phoebe Cates, every young boy. And my pick for drama movie was Shawshank Redemption. Joe, your pick was I know for I just blank on the title of it, Requiem for a Dream. My favorite action movie was Terminator 2. And Joe, your favorite action movie was
John Wick.
Tony says Equilibrium, best comedy, best man. Kevin Bacon needs his whole category. We could definitely do a whole Kevin Bacon category as well. Teflon Roxanne, Steve Martin was a great movie. Very funny, hilarious movie, and almost obviously could fit into that romantic comedy category that we're going to get to next. So Roxanne would definitely be something I would consider for romantic comedy. Joe, this was a very tough list and probably harder for me if we're going from your biggest category to my biggest category in a weird way. I'm so cheesy. I love
rom-com is your biggest. You don't think it's my, dude? I
cry at every.
Dude,
I'm a mess.
Yeah, you are.
I love it.
But I've seen all the rom-coms.
This was a tough one for me, Joe. I think you probably know this one. I feel like you could probably call this one like I called your action movie. But what is my pick for favorite rom-com?
This is The Princess Bride.
No, good one though.
God, because I don't know if I could pick a rom-com for you. Made in Manhattan.
It's interesting. It was interesting. You said that. I do love the combination of right, and Jennifer Lopez. They're very hot in that movie. They're hot. But no, it's not Made in Manhattan. Joe, I'll try to pick yours now. Is it The Princess Bride? No, you didn't put The Princess Bride for any of those on your list. Is it Sleepless in Seattle?
No.
Okay.
But that's a good pick. Is yours When Harry Met Sally?
Yes, you got it on the second one. My pick is number one. Do you know why When Harry Met Sally? Because I watched it. Hi, Jamie. I know you might. Wait, let me play some sad music. I gotta play some sad music, Joe. I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
I'll have what she's having.
It's about time. Yes, that very funny part, but also, hi, Jamie. It's been years since we've seen each other, but we were best friends in high school. And I just had the biggest crush on you. She knew. And I just would watch When Harry Met Sally and dream that you and I had a relationship like that. And then at the end, one day on New Year's Eve, we would meet and we would kiss. And you know what you told me? Go fuck yourself, Phil. And then you punched me. It was really fun. But no, I love Jamie. Jamie, I know you won't listen sometimes. You're awesome. You're the best. But yeah, it had a lot to do with her. It had a lot to do with my dynamic with Swin and just thinking that I was in that same kind of dynamic, and I watched it so much on a video cassette tape. I cried so much in that end scene when they came together. It's funny, hilarious, obviously with the orgasm and it was what gave me a crush on Meg Ryan was that movie because of that orgasm scene. It was just hard to beat from romantic comedy for me. Joe, what is your pick?
Did you take a guess at mine?
I did. I said Sleepless in Seattle.
All right. Mannequin.
Oh, Mannequin. Great pick. Kim Cattrall at her absolute hottest. Andrew what's his Andrew McCarthy is that his name? In his prime of his Steve Guttenberg glow, and Hollywood, one of the best underrated characters in all the things. You also have, which a lot of people don't remember from the Police Academy movies. You had Harris as the antagonist. You had was one, one of
and
the
you also in it is Sophia from Golden Girls.
Yeah, playing the boss of the mall that ends up like digging that wacky mannequin style. Yeah, Estelle Getty.
Also in it
Great movie.
is the bad guy executive guy is the dude from White Castle and Sex Lies and Video.
Oh yeah. James Spader.
James Spader, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that movie over and over again. Rented it all the fucking time back in the rental days of VHS in the 80s.
Yeah, that was a very funny movie. A couple other people, and we'll move on because we know rom-com's not for everybody. Is it wrong to say I really like Prometheus? No, it's not wrong. This is a like stream. This isn't a good or a bad stream. This is different. Like if we're talking about what we consider good and bad movies, Joe could easily turn to me and say, "You like When Harry Met Sally? That movie's trash." And I'll say,
movie's fucking awesome, though.
It's beautiful.
Rom-com is one of my favorite genres of movie.
I'm a fan as well. Scott says, "Me too. This is a tough one. I'm not big in this category. I hate rom-coms." Luna gives a very good pick. That's something I actually considered when talking about this list, just when talking about favorite. The Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, Something's Gotta Give. I kind of really like that movie. I think he's like dating Diane Keaton's daughter, and then he ends up with her at the end of the movie. It's an interesting movie. Good Jack movie.
I gotta do a shout out here because
as good as it gets, as well as a good movie.
A lot of these movies would fit in. My mom has her rom-com picks, right? Which were like Bringing Up Baby, which I thought was an amazing movie with Katharine Hepburn and Charles Ruggles.
Look Who's
Cary
Talking
Grant.
is a great one.
But wow, fuck me, I didn't think of those.
Look Who's Talking.
No, something else that she just mentioned that she had in the text that I didn't see before. But everything with Fred and Ginger fits musical and fits rom-com.
Yeah.
Like Mannequin was the first rom-com I ever saw, I think, and then like what was that other fucking movie there? Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh, Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey. Not Dempsey, whatever his name is.
Like I know there were other ones out like Pretty in Pink and Sweet 16 and countless others.
Oh, you're not Matt. You're not Matt.
But like those are the first ones that I saw was Mannequin, and then like Can't Buy Me Love, and then my mom made me watch all these fucking Top Hat and Follow the Fleet and Bringing Up Baby and all these old movies that are all where the rom-com genre came from. Those big fucking old movies.
But a lot of those were more almost drama musical ones. But I agree. Like you could even go to some of the big musicals, as you mentioned, and they could.
But no, they were also very much rom-coms too.
Yeah, I agree. Scott says Chasing Amy. I think that's Kevin Smith's best made movie. Even though I might like some other movies at times, I feel like Chasing Amy is a very well made movie. Something About Mary, a good one. Watch that. Collateral Damage is a great one. Coming to America could be comedy, could be rom-com as well. Definitely deserves mention on this list. So let's move on to horror and scary.
Oh, that's great because Renee Zellweger in Chasing Amy is also in someone else's pick up there.
That's not Renee Zellweger. That's not Renee Zellweger. It's the girl that kind of looks like. No, it's the girl that kind of looks like her, but she's not.
Oh, whatever that girl is, she's in that same movie, Dazed and Confused.
Splash is also
in Dazed and Confused. You're right. It's not Renee Zellweger, but
Splash is. She's like poor man's.
Splash was great.
Great movie.
I remember that movie. I saw that in the theater.
John Candy and Tom Hanks. Yep, and Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Yep. And again, it's a forgotten about candy role because if you're looking for some more candy in your life and you haven't seen that, check that one out as well. So horror, scary, you know this. Like, just say it. You know, like
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1.
It's not Part 1, but yeah.
3.
3. It's 3. But like it's all of them. I'm a Freddy fan. Freddy was my favorite of all the slasher villains. It's not that I find him scary.
There's a point for both of us.
You're Nightmare on Elm Street too? Okay.
So, no.
Yeah,
I
point for
get a
both of us.
point.
Okay. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street by far. I loved all the movies. There was a 900 number when I was a kid, and I called it and charged my phone.
You won all the
And I
movies.
won all the movies because I won the 900 hotline number. And my grandmother was so pissed that I like shelled up like a $600 phone bill, but they were still so proud of me that I won the contest. They were still like, doing the bragging thing, like he won a trivia contest and won.
It cost us $7,500.
Yeah, it was like $90 worth of stuff I won for like $600 phone bill. But my mother, being the manipulator she was, said she didn't get my permission and got half the bill taken off, and I still got the prize. So everyone wins. Candyman original, Candyman, great one. My favorite movie of all time is The Exorcist, says Chrissy. Sinister's my favorite one. We got Maud Mary. I love movies. Great to see Maud Mary in the live chat.
Exorcist has one of my favorite, one or two of my favorite scenes in it, but no.
Hellraiser 1 and 2, says Sonic. Alien, Fandom D says Nightmare on Elm Street and Chucky. I know I just can't fucking choose. The Exorcist scared the crap out of me. Halloween scared the crap out of me. I think for me, Joe, for the horror stuff, it comes down to that 80s, early 90s slasher thing. Those are my favorite movies. I really like the movie Shocker, which is another Wes Craven movie. It's not very good, but I love it. I love the Chucky movies. I kind of like the Friday the 13th movies. I kind of like the Halloween movies. I kind of like the Psycho movies, even though Psycho 1 is a legitimately amazingly made movie that really influenced the whole genre. Same with like Halloween 1 in some ways. But I'm Nightmare on Elm Street all the way. There's just something about the character Freddy Krueger, and specifically Robert Englund playing him, that the joy that he gets fucking with people and the setup of it with this fucking with people's dreams when you're asleep. So even in its most ridiculous state, when he's shoving food down a girl's thing or crushing her in a bug motel with the cockroaches all around, it's still scary because you can imagine your own fucked up dreams and Freddy into it. Maybe when he's playing video games and going, "No, you're playing with power, bitch," it becomes a little less scary, but to me, it's still entertainment. That's when it becomes the dark comedy that people were talking about, and it's still really fun on that level. So for you, ain't no fucking clue where you're gonna go with this one. You're more of a connoisseur of this shit than me. You're gonna pick something like really, highbrow or some shit like Faces of Death Volume 3 or some shit. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know where you're going with this shit, Joe. What are you going to pick for horror? I honestly don't know. I can't get my mind out of 80s horror, but I think it's not going to be that. I think Candyman.
No.
What is your favorite horror movie?
So this is horror scary.
Yes,
I originally put down Pacific Heights with Michael Keaton.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Which is more of like he like rents an apartment from a couple that just bought their first house, and he's like a tenant from fucking hell. He like terrorizes them, and it's really kind of scary, intense, and all this shit. Like the kind of scary that like Single White Female is.
Oh, okay, but that's more thriller scary kind of shit.
Right. So I changed my mind, and I went to a very B scary movie from the 80s or 70s.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No, which scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. That always got played late night, and like it's called The Beast Within.
I've heard.
It's a fucking horrible fucking movie. Objectively, like this ain't on anybody's list, but like it scared the fucking hell out of me.
Do you know what scared me when I was a kid, Joe? Was those Amityville horror movies.
Yep, the Amityvilles and not the what's
Poltergeist?
No.
Joe's delivering Joe's delivering
Phantasm movie.
I love when you try to deliver a thought, baby. It's great.
That's
It
that's the
hurts
guy
at
with
this
the
age.
orb that chased after you. Phantasm.
Yeah. No, that was fucking scary too, Joe. There was a lot of really creepy early
Like
80s.
Salem's Lot was really
Yeah.
kind of.
Dude, I just remember going into the video store. I don't want to do like a back on our day thing, but like
My mom says like Dracula from with Boris.
Boris, yeah, Boris Yeltsin, no. With all the greats. But horror movies were interesting, Joe, because like when we were kids, we would just go more than any kind of movie. You just go into the video store and just pick a random horror movie based on the cover, and it would just you'd see some fucked up shit. I don't know why I just said effed and fucked. As a kid, Labyrinth was fucking scary. As a kid, Pee-wee's Big Adventure was scary, and that Large Marge thing that freaked me the fuck out. Large Marge with her fucking face. Only movie that got me when I was a kid was Poltergeist. Big Daddy. Poltergeist killed me as well. That little kids creepy. The little kids in The Shining was also pretty amazing. American Psycho is a great movie. I think Pacific Heights is more of a thriller, but good one. American Psycho. Heredity is wild. Jen says, I think my version of horror is just reality. That'd be like reality movies. But there's a lot of really interesting horror movies from the standpoint of talking about your favorites, because is your favorite, I think you went in the route of what scares you the most, which is probably the right route, to be honest, Joe. I should probably be thinking about it more in that way. But
well, no, it's favorite movie.
Right, it's favorite. But like what I like about horror movies is laughing. I want to laugh along with my horror movie.
That's not horror to me.
But like
that's a gore movie.
I'm a wimp. I'm a wimp. I can't watch something really scary, otherwise I freak out. That's not true, but I will watch it, but they're not good experiences. I wouldn't call them my favorite movies. If I'm talking about like my scariest movies besides Jaws, you know, like Jaws is pretty fucking scary, dude. Don't sleep on Jaws. If you swim in the water, would probably be something like Amityville Horror or or Poltergeist or something with hearing sounds and seeing ghosts in houses and shit like that. But ultimately, I think Nightmare on Elm Street walked the line perfect between both things. It definitely at times scared me in the first movie specifically, but it's just entertaining to me. I just like them. But Hellraiser keeps me on my toes today, and I'm tougher than a $2 streak. I love them showing off their business cards, obsessed with them. Same here for me. Jaws made me afraid of sharks. I'm still afraid of sharks. Joe Dirty Locks. Our question from Luna. Are you more of a slasher or a psychological scary type horror fan?
Psychological scary, like fucking almost put up there, but it's definitely not a horror movie. But yeah, Fatal Attraction.
Oh, scary fucking movie.
Like scared the shit out of me as a kid. Saw that in the theater at like 13, 14 or some shit. Like.
Jen Hack says, at video stores, the covers were so deceptive. The worst horror movie was renting something called Ishtar by mistake. Jen, that's fucking great. And what did Claude have to say? I love them showing them off here. Yeah, but horror movies horror movies were interesting though, because like I just remember watching so many when I was a kid, being friends with some of the people I was friends with because they were just so much into those kind of things. Like more gross out stuff than horror movies.
Like Misery.
Okay.
There's like
all
the Stephen King's. Misery, Carrie, Maximum Overdrive.
You're mentioning a lot of really good movies, but I feel like we need to stop at Misery because I forgot about it, and that might be
Shining.
The Shining is great too, but Misery might be my favorite. If we consider this a horror movie, which I guess it is, it might be my.
Yeah,
it
almost got my vote, but it's a little too like.
Peter Griffin has some good points. Any movie with Adam Sandler. Oh my god! What would you do for more? The later movies, anyways. Like, which one is scarier, Dawn of the Dead, the original one, or the newer one? I like the newer one more. Joe, which one?
The newer one's not scary though. The newer one is more of an action movie than a horror movie.
They're both good though.
And the original is also more of a action than horror. Night of the Living Dead is the original zombie movie, and that's more of a horror movie.
Yeah, and especially with the way it's shot, it's still scary to this day. Sonic says Maximum Overdrive is one of my personal favorites. Claude says the Evil Dead series. Big Daddy says, I'm your biggest fan.
The Evil Dead series, the first couple are actually, those are, you know what?
Yep.
Might amend my pick
Think about it for a second.
for the first Evil Dead movie.
Someone said The Puppet Master, another great movie. There were so many, just because 80s slasher movies were so big bank, there were so many that took off during that period of time that never sort of you forget about over time. But there were so many horror movies. The horror section of the video store, I don't want to keep going back to the video store, but I'm just at the time where I was most into horror movies. But I'll talk about some newer ones. I know newer, like whatever. So a couple people mentioned the Blair Witch. Were you a fan of that found footage age of stuff?
No. In fact, I'm definitely going with the first Evil Dead movie.
That, I mean, it's tough to beat. It's tough to beat. I might want to switch my pick too. Really good. Misery, The Puppet Master. Misery reminds me of that. The Army of Darkness. The newer one have zombies sprinting towards you. Jesus, Cookie Christ, says Phantom D. Saint. Sorry, not the movie. Anyone into Yellow Jackets at the moment? Yellow Jackets I've heard is a great show. I haven't given it a chance yet, but
On a list somewhere.
yeah, it's on a list of us to shows of us to watch. We'll definitely check it out. But Jen, freeform live chat. Don't worry about staying on topic. Any questions are open. So getting to our next topic, and again, we'll keep cycling back if you.
We gotta keep moving though.
But we got to keep moving along here. Moving along. Joe's actually pleasant. Joe's actually pleasantly surprised that I haven't stalled too much here. Let's see. Paranormal Activity, Conjuring films. Keep your horror movies coming though, and your comedies and your dramas and your actions. As we'll cycle back and go over our list one more time at the end more quickly. So this next one, Joe, I joked about it last week, but did I do it? Did I pull the trigger, so to speak? You're not gonna know what my Western is. I don't think you're gonna know what my Western is, but maybe. What's my Western, Joe?
Young Guns.
It's number 2. I decided on something else because I actually do like something else better. And
really?
I do. It is.
And it's that other one that you mentioned, Unforgiven.
No, I've thought about that too, and I realized that I do like the Unforgiven, but I like Tombstone better.
Tombstone, really?
Yeah.
That's the Kevin Costner?
No,
or is that the
Tombstone. Tombstone was the
the one with
Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer,
Russell,
Sam Elliott. I believe Gene Hackman's in it.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, I Bill Paxton was in it. Even Jason Priestley. Because I mean, as much as I do love Young Guns, I couldn't realistically put it on this list. Even though I do want to talk about how awesome Young Guns is. Like, let's not sleep on how amazing Emilio Estevez was in that fucking movie, and all the other rest of the Young Guns, and even Young Guns 2 with Christian Slater. But no, it's probably Tombstone. Joe, I have no clue where you would go with this. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's I'm gonna.
Well, that whole series, the three of them, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, and A Few Dollars More, are incredible movies. As far as Westerns go, I did not pick one of those. I picked The Magnificent Seven,
Great.
The original.
That's a great movie. I've actually seen that. It's a really good movie.
The ensemble in that movie is incredible, and it's my favorite Western.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I almost went with Three Amigos.
I didn't even think about the Three Amigos. That probably should have been my pick. I probably should have picked.
I almost guessed that for you.
I probably should have picked the Three Amigos if I'm being 100% honest, but I didn't even think about that one. But I really do like the Young Guns movies. They're cheesy, they're weird in some ways. You know, they come off more like 80s movies than necessarily Westerns. I feel like Tombstone is a little more true to the definition of what a Western's supposed to be, just more of a modern one, where I didn't connect as much with the classic age of Westerns for some reason. It just didn't click with me. But I respect it. I understand that it's a genre people love, but I never quite got it there. I never quite got there with it.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's quite a few Westerns I really like.
The Unforgiven, I'd say my top 3 would be Tombstone, Unforgiven, then Young Guns would be my top 3. And then I really do like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Back to the Future 3. I almost picked Back to the Future 3. but it is my least favorite of all the Back to the Future movies. But it is a
That fits
Western.
Western, but
It's a Western. It's a
it's sci-fi.
Let's jump in the chat and get some of the people's picks. We got bump. No, turn that off there. Thank you. We got Butch and Sundance, the 310 to Yuma. Someone else said thank you, Chrissy. Someone earlier mentioned it because I don't want to ignore it. And was angry with me. You weren't really angry with me. Someone was really taking umbrance with me, Joe, for not picking Roadhouse as the best action movie, as their favorite action movie, because it's hard to beat. You're muted. It's hard to beat Roadhouse.
No, Django is a great movie too. Oof.
Yes, so is Django
is really good.
I'm surprised neither one of us, or not you necessarily, like I'm surprised I haven't, like I almost put Raising Arizona as a comedy. I almost put Big Lebowski up there. I almost put No Country for Old Men as horror movie. But I haven't put a Coen Brothers movie, and I don't think I have one, which is interesting because I consider them some of my favorite directors. Like I consider the Coen Brothers movies some of my favorite movies. Whether it be Fargo, Big Lebowski, Raising Arizona, No Country for Old Men, Big Lebowski, like all of them. I love almost every Coen Brothers movie, even the Hudsucker Proxy and all that sort of shit. But none of them are on this list for some reason, which is weird to me. But whatever. Next on our list, this is one maybe I might dig into a little bit more than you, but I'm not sure. This is a weird one. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this one. For you, I'll try to pick you first. Favorite superhero movie. So, favorite superhero movie, the 70s Flash movie?
No.
The original Batman with Michael Keaton.
No.
Okay. What is your favorite comic book superhero movie?
I almost went with OG Superman 1.
Oh, good movie. Christopher Reeve's Superman 1.
Or 2 or 3. Almost went there, but I didn't.
Not 4. Not 4.
Not 4.
Not 4. What, you don't like Nuclear Man?
Well, that's actually
kill Superman now.
Comic book.
I will.
We'll not get into the.
They should have done Bizarro Job. Instead, they did some stupid Nuclear Man. I will kill Superman now.
Sorry.
Well, that's who ends up killing Superman in the.
No.
No, it's Doomsday that does it.
Yeah.
Well, which okay, you're saying Doomsday is the death creature, same. Oh, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do a whole fucking podcast on fucking Superman 4 because there's a lot of shit with that movie, like the first draft when they had like Nuclear Man point 1, 2, and 3.
Listen, Superman, I'm going to kill you now.
Sorry. The Punisher, Blade for me, Sandman, Christopher Reeves, Into the Spider-Verse, Black Panther, The Dark Knight. Ooh, we're going to get a lot of picks here. Keep it coming, everyone. Very interested in hearing all your picks about this one because I know we're in a superhero age of movies right now, so there's a lot to choose from. Now, Joe, what is your pick? First.
So this is going to surprise you, judging by one of the actors that is in it.
Kneel before Zod.
And with that hint, do you want to?
No. Like,
you want to take a little guess?
No, I'm curious. I'm curious now. I just want to know. I'm ready.
Well, someone asked earlier what movie Hit Girl was from.
Oh, okay.
And that would be
Kick-Ass. Great movie, Joe. I can't hate on
Hit Girl's
Kick-Ass.
father, Big Daddy,
played by the one and only, the greatest of all time, Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah. And I actually really like his new Western that just came out.
I haven't seen it yet. I just think
it's not the best, but I really like it.
I really wanted to pick Face Off.
I like a lot of his movies. I just don't like him. I think he's just fucking.
He's nuts. He's fucking nuts. Okay, so while Joe's going to get another beer, pee break. I'll wait on my pick till Joe gets back, and I'll read some of the ones in the live chat and see what anything with Henry Cavill, says Luna. X2 is a great movie, Scott. Joe and I talked about in a podcast a couple of years ago, talked about the entire X-Men series. So I'd recommend checking that out. X2 was one of my early top superhero movies, right there with Spider-Man 2. Like early on, I just really loved both of those two movies. I saw both of them in the theater, and they were awesome experiences, especially that Magneto breaking out of prison scene. I remember specifically that scene being extra awesome. Kick-Ass was really good, JM. I agree. That's a great pick by Joe. Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing pick, Maud Mary. I would say I came to the Guardians later. It was one of the Marvel movies series I watched the latest, and I could not have been more happy when I finally binged it. And it was just incredibly awesome. And each one of the movies are incredible. The first one's probably the best, but all of them are good. And I'm saying all of them because I know the third one's not out yet, but I'm adding the Christmas special that was on Disney Plus that is really, really well done. And if you like the Guardians of the Galaxy and you haven't watched the Christmas special, I highly recommend it because it's fun. I think it almost encapsulates like a sense of like Star Trek fun to the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe that I really like. And of all the Marvel specific sub-universes within the big universe, I think Guardians and probably Spider-Man are my favorite when it comes down to it. But so, Joe, do you have a guess what my favorite might be for a superhero movie? Let's see.
Iron Man 3.
I do like me some Iron Man 3. Okay, Joe. I almost want to give you a half a point for that because in the olden times, when Joe and I used to go out quite often, I would often tout the merits of Iron Man 3 because I feel like it's an underappreciated gem of a movie if you like the Iron Man series. I feel like the second one movie's trash. I don't care. I like Mickey Rourke and I like Scarlett Johansson being in a movie. It's never a bad thing. And both those people add to movies usually. Iron Man 2 is a gigantic turd of a movie. The first one is very good, but simplified in some ways. And I don't like the dude at the end as our villain. I hate the climax of Iron Man 1. So in some ways, I feel like Iron Man's the best standalone Iron Man movie. And some people really don't like it, but I have a special place in my heart for that movie. But it's not my favorite superhero movie. But I know why you would have picked that because I often talk about how much I like that movie. Like I naturally like that movie. It's I like
Batman 1, Michael Keaton's Batman 1.
No, also a very good pick that I thought about picking, but not quite it. You might be surprised by my pick. But Spider-Man No Way Home was really awesome. The big Spider-Man nostalgia bukkake, as Rich Evans says. I love that movie. I couldn't get enough of both of them. The animated one and the real one were both fucking awesome. I'm too much of a Trekkie to contribute. We'll get there, Jen. We'll get there. A couple more categories. I promise Star Trek will be mentioned. I just don't like Chris Pratt. I get that, Chrissy. Iron Man 3 is great. I like the X-Men animated series. No Way Home is great. I like all the new Spider-Man movies. They're awesome. This came down to two for me, Joe. I do like the original Batman movie. I think Michael Keaton is my favorite in-suit Batman. He doesn't talk like Cookie Monster. What are you talking about? But even with The Dark Knight is in the conversation for me. Because not just because of Heath Ledger's performance, because of Aaron Eckhart's performance, because of just the intensity of the movie and the way that felt at the time it came out and how much I was into it and what it meant cinematically to it just at the time. I felt like it was really iconic and really interesting and really awesome. But I guess I got to lick the balls of Marvel here because I need to applaud them for I'm going to pick Infinity War. The fact that they pulled that shit off, had Thanos win at the end of the fucking movie, and it ended in this like depressing kind of way without an after credit scene and everything that you expect to happen in a superhero movie. I just think it was like the epic culmination of all this shit that shouldn't have worked, but actually worked in the final. I know Endgame I don't think was quite as good as Infinity War, but I think the Infinity War movie really gave me everything I would want in a superhero movie, including loss and sadness. Mr. Stark, oh, Mr. Stark, I lost it. Intensity, like Thor coming back, I'm here. Like, I mean, yeah, you get that horrible Peter Dinklage scene. That's probably the weak part of the whole movie, but whatever. I'm going to skip over that. But I would say all in all, I think there's some better individual movies, but I think for my favorite experience watching a superhero movie, and maybe it's recency bias to a certain extent, I really enjoyed that experience. So I'll go with the Infinity War, let's say. The last two Avengers movies were great. I would even if I could say both of those movies, I would say both of them. But if I have to pick one of the two in one movie, I would pick that. And I'm not a Marvel stan, Joe, except for Daredevil. I'm not somebody that's gonna like lick every Marvel movie and be like, I'm a fanboy and I watched it, blah blah blah. But it's just it's tough to do that. Can you imagine if we talked about this 20 years ago or not 20 years, 30 years ago, whatever, that they would be able to pull something like that off in the cinema, like a big giant, like 12-part thing that led to this giant movie where the bad guy wins in the end. And then it cuts to credits. It was just really cool that they did that. So yeah, that would be my pick. I saw it the first minute of the Batman, how long it and clicked it off. You lost it. I never made it. Avengers or Snyder's Universe. I think Joe would probably pick Snyder Universe over the Marvel Universe, wouldn't you? I thought you liked those Snyder movies.
I do like it. I just don't know if I'd pick that. I wish they hadn't gone to try to like copy and pull all those movies together.
Yeah, like they could have just keep them as individualistic movies. They didn't need to do the Justice League thing so soon. Infinity War was epic. I still haven't watched Batman. Agree on that. Robert Pattinson did a great job. I celebrate your burps. I really like Black Widow too. Keaton, Affleck, and Bale. Okay, so the question got asked earlier. Who's your favorite Batman, Joe? For me, I say Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne and Keaton as Batman. But all in all, Kevin Conroy. It's a little hint for later. But yeah. Do you have a favorite Batman?
George Clooney.
I knew you were gonna say it, you dick. Okay, let's move on to a category Joe's a little bit more into. I'll get my lame ass picks out of the way, my obvious picks out of the way here. Our next category is martial arts movies, and I don't have a large palette size to this. I could have gone really so I have two on my list, Joe. I can't really decide between the two of them. I have to pick one here and now.
Karate Kid.
No. If you good choice though, not Cobra Kai either. If you pick one of the two, I'll give you points.
Fists of Fury.
No, my two are The Drunken Master.
Yeah, I almost picked that.
And my favorite, definitely my favorite. Now that I'm saying it, would be Shaolin Soccer.
That's a great fucking movie.
Unbelievably good movie if you've never seen it.
Sports movie.
It's not a sports movie. I mean, it kind of is, but it's also a martial arts movie. Are you telling me Shaolin Soccer is not a sports?
If you say,
come on.
Fine. If you said Shanghai Hustle, is it?
Yeah,
or
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. Rather, I would have said okay.
I like
very similar movie, but like, no, it's.
I like Shaolin Soccer better. Okay, fine.
I mean, I'll give it.
No, fine. I'll pick The Drunken Master. You dick. You want to be a dick about it? I'll pick
Drunken Master. Yeah.
I'll pick Drunken Master. We'll give it to Jackie fucking Chan. Okay, we'll give it to Jackie fucking Chan. Okay. Before we get to Joe's pick, let's take a voicemail as he's a fucking motherfucker here. We got a couple of voicemails here. One from our good buddy Jay. Let's take Jay's voicemail first and see where we're fucking wrong.
The best Batman is Kevin Conroy.
He's right.
And it counts as a movie because Batman Mask of the Phantasm came out in theaters. But second best is Michael Keaton. Later.
Good picks. And this is from area code 419.
Hey, so this is Summer.
Welcome,
I'm
Summer.
not a first-time caller. I think this is like probably my second or third.
Well, welcome second or third time. It's amazing to have you, and thank you for calling in and adding your voice to the show. Let's hear what let's hear what you got to say.
Fine.
Imagine if that was the whole message. She's like, "Oh, I'm the fourth time calling. Second call. Bye."
But anyway, I was thinking about my favorite movies in the sci-fi genre, and Alien definitely is the one that comes to mind.
Great one.
And then the second installment, Aliens. And
Joe, before we're gonna listen to all of this, all of our friends' message, do you have a preference between the first Alien and the second Alien movie? It's one of the. Honestly, I feel like I want to put it in the poll. Put it in the. Put it in.
I like the second one because it's the one I saw first.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird you say that because I'm like the other way around. I saw the first one first, and I think I like that one. But I don't know. I think the second one's a better movie. I think, but both of them are really awesome. They both really are awesome. But maybe we'll do a whole video on that at some point. So here we go. Let's continue.
also The Matrix. I cannot choose which one, at least between Alien and Aliens, which one's the better one. Like, they're a tie for me. They're both so good. And then I'm not sure if The Matrix, you know, I know that it would be sci-fi, but I guess it's more in the dystopian genre.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'll, you know, be going into that genre as well.
Yeah, we could do whole dystopian post-apocalyptic drama, things like, you know, the Super Mario Brothers movie and Blade Runner and stuff. But let's continue.
And then for the superhero movies, I was thinking about definitely The Punisher. I think it's the least easy.
Which one?
And it was pretty funny.
Is she talking about the Dolph Punisher?
There's also one with James or James something.
Oh yeah, that one's fucking awesome. I like that one better.
There's a whole bunch of Punishers.
I like
4 of them.
Who's your favorite Punisher? Barenthal?
Yes.
And for the superhero movies, I was thinking about definitely The Punisher. I think it's the least easy. And it was
Also,
pretty funny.
Pluto
So.
from Rome.
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple peeks. Matrix 2 was the first time I saw white guys with dreads. That was fascinating, says Killmonger. Scott says Kill Bill definitely has that amazing soundtrack. Kill Bill was something I definitely considered thinking about in this topic as well, especially the first movie. I thought was exceptional. I enjoyed the first one the most out of the 2 Kill Bill movies, but they both were great. Ninja Assassin says Song. My preference is the mountain stance in Kung Fu. My practice sword is White Oak, says Jen. Surf Ninjas is the best martial art movie of all time. Hands down, shut the front door and let's call it a fucking night, says Sonic. Fist of Fury is pretty dope too. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Big Trouble in Little China. Great pick, Sonic. Rush Hour, another good movie. Underrated because, but I feel like I want to do a specific show with Joe, one of these where we do buddy cop movies, because we could do a whole, like, our top 5 top 5 or even top 10 buddy cop, because there's so many. Because I would want to talk about how awesome Rush Hour is, but Lethal Weapon's awesome. Friggin', you know, there's so many great buddy cop movies. Even you could say True Lies is a buddy cop movie. You know, and that's a funny fucking movie with
That's not a buddy cop movie.
It's kind of is with him and friggin' what's his name. They're kind of a buddy cop vibe.
No. It's a rom-com.
Okay, so we only have a couple categories left, but we're gonna keep going here. This one is interesting for you, Joe, because for you, I'm not sure what you would pick here, but
no, you have no idea.
Your favorite sports movie.
Wait, you didn't do my martial arts.
What's your favorite martial arts movie?
Tell me.
I fucking don't know. Something with Jet Li, the one.
Yes, something with Jet Li.
Something with Jet Li.
I'll give you 3 guesses.
No, can I Google for a second? I don't know. Can I look at a list of Jet Li movies? I don't know. One of his before he came over here, pre-Lethal Weapon 4 movies.
You can Google and look at a list of his movies.
Thank you. Give me a second, Joe. Take over here, Garth. Jet Li, and tell people why you love Jet Li so much.
Because he's the best. Is
he the best for you? He's the best doing this there ever was.
He's legit too.
So my Google's.
I'm just gonna leave it at like the man.
Romeo Must Die.
Incredible. Okay, that's your second guess. No. Both of those are great movies too. I love both of those movies.
Let's see. Jet Li movies. Let's see. Give me a list of Jet Li.
One of them had Jason Statham in them, and the other one has the guy from Blackish, and
Yeah, Romeo must.
has what's her name who's dead.
Yeah, me, myself, and Irene guy.
And the girl that's dead, the singer that's dead, that crashed in the plane.
Oh yeah.
Brandy, not Brandy.
Not Brand. No, I'm blanking. Aaliyah. Let's see. What could be your favorite Jet Li movie? Fists of Legend.
Holy fuck!
Wait, did I pull it off? Did I pull it off?
Read the description of Fist of Legend.
Did I pull it off?
Read the description of it.
It says, in 1937, a Chinese martial artist returns to Shanghai to find his teacher dead and his school harassed by the Japanese.
Does that sound familiar?
It's a remake of the 1972 Bruce Lee movie, Fist of Fury.
And it's fucking amazing. And it ties just under. It almost made it. It was the first one I wrote down, but it is not the favorite movie of mine. So close, Phil.
I was doing my victory dance, Joe. You don't.
So close.
Oh, you made me do it. You made Maud Mary great fucking pick. Great fucking pick, Maud Mary.
There's also one I want to mention in this called Unleashed, which I thought of for a few different, which is a great movie, but no. As far as martial art, Twin Warriors.
Oh, is that the one where he fights himself, where he's twins or something?
No. That you're thinking of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh yeah, I am. I totally am.
But
Yeah.
but this is he and his friend are in Shaolin school together, and they both get expelled, and one of them ends up this evil general, and he ends up working for like the resistance, but he's just like
Resistance is futile.
This adorable dumbass who's a monk that's been his whole life that's been tossed from the monastery, so doesn't really know anything.
Joe, you said that resistance. I couldn't help. Resistance is futile. Yes, we are the Borg.
It's my favorite movie.
Joe and I were correct. It was in fact the Borg. Yes, it was the Borg.
Oh yeah, he does fight himself in the one also.
He does. JC DVD. The Twins one is called The One. Thank you, Fandom D Saint. Good movie, Joe, says Jen Hack. JCVD is maybe Jean-Claude's best work. Jay again says Blood.
That is.
JCVD, yeah, it's fucking amazing. Bloodsport, maybe one of the greatest martial arts movies ever made. We will do something like that at the end here, Jen, as we're doing very good on time right now. Very good on time. I think we'll have a chance to do a couple of quick worst kind of thing as we're going through this list.
There's also the Once Upon a Time in China series. There's so many great.
Yeah, this is a genre that is special to your heart. Like I know a fraction quarter, like not even like a half of a fraction of a point compared.
That's also a great superhero movie, Black Mass,
compared to what you know in this particular genre. I feel like I'm more versed on the next genre, but even so, I have a couple of pretty obvious picks for my sports one. So anything else you want to say about the martial arts genre before we move on? Because you could keep talking about it. Again, we could do a whole stream on you talking about Jet Li movies. I've done it before. Before we did a podcast, we've had whole car rides where you talk about Jet Li movies the whole time.
Oh
yeah. The best sports movie is Remember the Titans. Easy, says Scott. His friend was greedy when he beat himself up to join the group. The Twins one, good movie. Okay, sports movie, Joe.
Yes.
What would my sports movie be?
Rudy.
Come on, Sam. Rudy, you can get into the game, Sam.
See, look at it. You're quoting that shit.
Listen, Rudiger.
But honestly, I'm going to go with basketball.
Great pick as well, Joe. I went a little bit more traditional with the sports pick here.
Okay, The Longest Yard.
No, great fucking pick. You're picking a lot of. I love sports movies, even in sports I don't like. And
The Natural.
no,
Did you go Field of Dreams?
no, close.
Oh, Kingpin.
No, good pick too. But no, what I went with for my favorite movies, I struggled with this one. Because how can you not pick Rocky? Like, how can you not pick Rocky?
Okay. Easy.
Rocky, you don't. You don't. You know how you don't? You don't. You just don't. I almost picked Summer Rental. Yeah, it's a boating movie. Go fuck yourself. I almost picked the Tom Cruise race car driving with Merle.
Days of Thunder.
With Merle. Yeah, with Merle's in it. You know, you got Rowdy Barnes. I almost picked, speaking of Rowdy Piper, I almost picked Main Event with him and Haku. I almost picked No Holds Barred. That's a sports movie. Or The Ducks. Quack, quack, quack.
Over the Top.
Over the Top? I might turn my hat around right the fuck now, Joe, and give my next pick. But basically, it came down to I might pick Tin Cup or Caddyshack.
Oh.
But no,
Golf movie.
I didn't.
Oh.
But what's weird about sports is the sports I like watching aren't necessarily the ones I like movies. I could have picked Hoosiers or Teen Wolf or Teen Wolf 2. Or that's my guess. What do you go? The Rookie says the Mighty Ducks. That's a good pick. The Water Boy. That's why I'd like to play the games.
I'd probably Mighty Ducks.
But this is a weird movie. I don't know if a lot of people are going to like this movie, and it's weird because it's the second time someone's on my list unintentionally, and I don't specifically like the guy, but it's the second time he's found my way onto the list tonight, Joe. And that person is Tim Robbins. In the movie is Bull Durham. I fucking love the movie Bull Durham. I cannot watch it enough. I think it's one of the best baseball movies. It's like it feels like it's an accurate baseball movie while still being funny.
Sarandon is so fucking sexy.
It's her at her all-time sexiness, and little boy Phil had the biggest crush.
Not all-time sexiness, but damn close.
I had such a crush on her in that movie. But it's beyond that, though. I just thought it was a really awesome movie. That monologue that Kevin Costner gives is maybe my favorite thing Costner's ever done acting. And you know I'm not a huge Costner fan. I rag the fuck on Costner. But I just think he works so well in sports movies, specifically in this one. I wanted to kind of pick Major League. I wanted to pick Rocky. I wanted to pick The Karate Kid maybe. I wanted to pick a lot of things, but this was a movie that I always go back to as my favorite baseball movie, and ultimately because of that, my favorite sports movie. So The Waterboy is great. Coach Carter, Bull Durham is my favorite baseball movie, says Maud Mary. Diggstown is another really great movie. That's a sports movie. I really like boxing movies too. So yeah, it's tough for me not to pick Bull Durham. Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield, and that's my pick for you, Joe. It's Ladybugs.
No, that would have been a great pick for you, though.
I was thinking about that one. That was a maybe. The Sandlot is a great pick. Great one. Angels in the Outfield. I think it's tough to make. I even like fucking Air Bud. It's tough to make an unwatchable sports movie. Even Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg as the coach of the Knicks is watchable. Like, sports movies are, for me anyways, Joe, really ridiculously watchable. Like, I can almost get into any one that I turn on at any point in time. And it takes a lot for them to be bad. Like, really bad.
Yep.
Like, even the one where the little kid puts on Michael Jordan's sneakers and he can start dunking. Like, I didn't hate that. So I really do like sports movies, but I think my favorite of all time, like top of the mountain for baseball movies, and as much as I don't like the sport of baseball, watching it, I call it a game. It's like you're watching a giant board game. Rolling the dice is like swinging the bat, and it's just like moving piece to piece. There's not like I don't enjoy watching baseball, but I love baseball movies. I fucking love baseball movies so much, all of them. Like, they're all good, and Bull Durham's the best. So for you, I said Ladybugs, but I was kind of kidding. Your favorite sports movie is Hoosiers.
No, God no.
No, what's your favorite sports movie? I don't know.
Yeah, you would never guess. And
League of Their Own is also a really awesome fucking movie.
That is a great movie. Fucking
Like Mike. Thank you guys. Like Mike is that fucking ridiculous movie where the kid puts on the shoes.
What's her name? Petty. Tia Leone, Gina
Oh yeah,
Davis,
great.
Madonna,
Tom, crying. There's no crying in baseball. Yeah, great stuff.
Laura Petty. Yep, great movie.
Tank Girl.
Um,
Jen Hack
Yeah,
says we're losing the Lost Australia audience right now.
so
So we'll move off sports in a second here. Sorry.
it was 3 movies came to mind for me immediately, and one of them is The Longest Yard,
Great movie.
the original.
Not the Adam
with-
Sandler one.
No, the
Burt Reynolds.
yes, correct, the Burt Reynolds one.
Slapshot.
Yep, is the next one.
Yep. I know. If you're picking that one, you got to pick it. Like those movies are almost. Sometimes at periods in times, movies are grouped together. We were talking about
And those
superhero
ones-
movies. Someone mentioned X-Men, and I would say Spider-Man 2 and X-Men are grouped together of that time period. They both came out around the same time. They changed the way people looked at superhero movies. Joe, I'd say in a weird way, like 70s sports movies are idealized by those two movies, like Slapshot and Longest Yard. Like they're
Yep.
Paul Newman and Burt Reynolds.
Yep, neither one of them.
Does The
Or
Color of Money count?
Yes,
Then that would be my pick. I'm changing my pick. It's Color of Money.
It kind of counts.
If
It's
that counts,
cool.
it's it.
That's a drama, but
Is it,
It-
count? Does it
it-
count?
it could count. Technically, it could count.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun tonight, Joe.
My movie is Goon.
Oh, good movie. Very good movie. Not even something I would have thought about.
Yeah.
Uh, the hockey movie with Rob Lowe, Bingo, Young Blood, Blades of Glory, Luck of the
Blades of Glory was good, and that's just it. Like, it's funny. Like, hockey is like my least, for the longest time, has been my least favorite like sport to ever like watch, aside from baseball. I've been to more hockey games than any other.
Hockey games are fun to go to, even if you don't like the sport, I would say.
And as far as like movies go, like Blades of Glory, the
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good ones. Mighty Ducks, as I said.
Yeah.
I like a lot of those football movies too that have the same plot, like Necessary Roughness or The Replacements with Gene Hackman and
The Replacements
Keanu.
is fucking awesome.
Keanu is amazing in that movie, and the whole cast is John
Dude,
Favreau.
you know what? I want to change my answer
To The Replacements.
No, NFL presents Lyle Alzado.
Oh, stop it. That's as a lesson on why not to take steroids. You're horrible. You're a bad person, Joe.
Okay, NFL Sports presents Alex Karras.
Better. Oh, you're even worse. Big Daddy says, I'm going back to school with Rodney Dangerfield. It's a diving movie. Jen Hack says, Blades of Glory, Balls of Fire, basketball, etc. I have my little corner on my shelf in Australia. Jen, thank you so much for joining us from Australia. You were fucking amazing. There's nothing I want more than to come to Australia one day and get to party with all the amazing people we've got a chance to talk to from Australia out here. You guys are some of the best motherfucking chatters. We really do appreciate it. Driving, Gridiron Gang. There's a lot of fun sports movies. Someone says pool counts. If pool counts, I'm going with Color of Money. I just really like that movie. Okay, Joe. Let's continue into our next category because I'd rather have some time at the end to just freeform. So let's continue through our list here. We're not doing great at picking, but we'll go quicker here. Fantasy, my pick is for you. This is where Princess Bride shows up. You finally said fuck it and picked the Princess Bride. No, you didn't, did you?
No, I told you that.
No Princess Bride. Then I'm gonna say what did I pick? I'm wrong because I have no clue for fantasy for you. What did I pick?
For fantasy, what did you pick? You picked The Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely, 100%. That's the answer. The answer is Lord of the Rings. Like, is there another answer? There's good fantasy movies, and I know sometimes I say
At that point,
I know sometimes I say let's count all the sequels together as one movie, but in this case, you actually can count it all as one movie because they shot it all as one fucking movie.
Oh.
It's one movie. It's one fucking movie.
What's my pick, Phil?
You're not picking the Prince. You're not picking the Princess Bride. I know you like the Lord of the Rings movies. I don't think you like them as much as me. Willow.
I probably like them more than you.
You're such a dick.
but they're not my favorite.
Willow?
No, and again, I never could sit through that movie as a kid,
The
but
Labyrinth?
as I got older,
Labyrinth?
again, Jennifer.
Oh, wait.
Jennifer's
Stop.
great in that
The
movie,
Never
but
Ending Story.
no way.
Okay. What the fuck is it? Oh, Last Crystal?
It would be called the Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. Yep, the Dark Crystal is the answer, isn't
But
it?
no,
No!
I couldn't go with that because it's puppet.
I'm striking
Muppet.
out. I'm striking out all over the fucking place.
And yes, you were never going to get this because it's a childhood favorite of mine that I could watch a million times, over and over again, starring Pogo and Togo.
What? Who?
And starring
Who's Pogo and Togo? Are they a bobsledding team?
Hold
from
on, I might have gotten their names wrong, so now I gotta look it up.
Cocoon? We got
No,
Crocodile Dundee Part 3. We hate Foster's Crocodile Dundee. Sorry, I saw Crocodile Dundee out of the corner of my eye.
Also starring Tanya Roberts.
Jen's giving us a quick lesson as we're waiting for Joe's pick. Anyone who goes to Australia, just a tip for everybody. We hate Foster's, Crocodile Dundee, and Rupert Murdoch. Don't mention any of them. Sonic, your boy, says Beastmaster.
Correct. Kodo and Podo.
And so does Free Your Mind. Good evening to the one and only, the amazing channel member, Scout Teeny, the real Teeny. Toast to you, my Scout Teeny friend.
Almost on there was could have been The Sword and the Sorcerer with Rip Torn, I believe.
Kodo and Podo, says
yes,
Sonic. Your
Kodo
boy.
and Podo. Yep.
Oh,
And Rue.
Beastmaster,
Yes.
people and everyone. I just learned the history behind the Smurfs. I never knew that before. I don't even know the history behind the Smurfs. Like I know they come from France. Like they were a like French comic of some sort, but I'd have to dig into it. I was a big Smurfs fan when I was a kid. We could do a whole I do want to do a cartoon podcast at some point, like an 80s cartoon podcast, to talk about all those damn shows that existed, Joe. There's a lot of them. It's even some that we forgot about that should never have existed. But we'll do that at some point in time in the future, too.
Conan gets an honorable mention from me, Sonic. I almost put Conan on there.
Conan is great.
When I thought about it, the Beastmaster and the Sword and the Sorcerer, those two movies, above all else fantasy-wise, have been long-standing favorites of mine. Like, hands down, I could watch them anytime, any place. And I couldn't do that with the Lord of the Rings movies. I can't watch number 2. I can't watch number 3. Like, I can watch them. I'd be happy to, but, like, they're long fucking movies. They're a commitment. They're fun. They're great. They're epic. They're amazing, but they're just not my favorites.
No, I hear you. And I mean, I would say the opposite for me.
Cloak and Dagger was fucking awesome, dude. You're so right about that.
What was that?
Cloak and Dagger with Dabney Coleman.
Oh, and the kid with the video game, and they got the video game thing. Is that sci-fi or is that fantasy?
It's both.
Or it's espionage. That is one of the most
espionage crime drama.
Who said that?
Thriller.
Who the fuck said that? Free Your Mind said you.
That is such a good movie.
That is such a forgotten about movie. Came around the same time.
It was one of my favorite movies as a kid too.
It was great.
I loved it.
That
the kid in it too. Is he the same kid from like E.T. or some shit?
Is it Elliot? I'm not sure if it's Elliot, but I do know that movie, War Games, and Jumping Jack Flash were all really awesome at the time. Where
War Games was fucking awesome too.
Michael J. Fox.
Project X. War Games. Matthew Broderick put out so many fucking great movies when we were young.
Yep. Luring children into the snow when they die, bodies decay, mushrooms grow into the bodies of Smurfs. Whoa. Big Daddy says, the Smurfs' backstory is luring children into the snow and they die. The bodies decay and mushrooms grow under their bodies. The Smurfs are blue due to the cold and their hats are making fun due to the color of the snow. That is fucking sick, Big Daddy. Sick. We need a horror movie based around the Smurfs. So let's nicen things up here and get the voice of 916 and see if she can class up this podcast for a second. after that horrifying Smurf results are revelation. The revelation about we're here at the Gossip Rag, theissuesprogram.com, and we've uncovered.
Yeah, that's
some
the
amazing...
German version of the Smurfs right there.
the
fucking-
German Scheiser,
the Mother Goose and Grimm version.
the Scheiser version of the Smurf. Shit.
Oh, the Grimm version without Mother Goose.
Oh my
Jesus.
god, that's horrible. Okay, here we go. 916. Cheer us up from that grim shit. Jesus.
That's fairy tale theater, not Disney.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's Big Dad. That shit's nuts.
Hello, this is the voice at
Oh.
913.
Save us.
Oh, movies. You know, we're all just seriously geeking out. My favorite genre is science fiction, and there are so
Next
many
category.
that I like. Just a few. Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Great.
The Thing, both the old and the new one,
I didn't see the new one.
Predator,
Ooh,
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Ex Machina,
good movie.
Rollerblade,
Great.
Running Man,
Yep. Oh,
Alien, and Aliens.
Roller babies.
Especially in Aliens, the
Solar
line where
babies.
yeah, Rolling Bear. Yeah, it's really great shit.
Private Hudson is asking Private Vasquez a question, trying to be such a smart ass. And he says, hey, Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man? And she says, I know you know the quote. No, have you? I nearly died when
I
she
love
did that.
I
She
love
was
it.
badass.
Yeah, so are you.
Yeah, science fiction, fantasy, drama. Those are the top three for me. I'm enjoying the show. Thanks, guys.
No, thank you, Voice of 916, and we appreciate it. We're going to try to bring a lot more movies to it this year as well, mixed in with our TV stuff as well. It's been far too long. We almost got into a rhythm of it, then my life went in upheaval. We were doing them somewhat consistently there for a little while, Joe, when we did like the X-Men one, the Spider-Man one, and I like getting to talk about movies. It's a little bit more freeform fun. Yeah, it's nuts. Jen Hack says, I hated Smurfs since I was a kid. May their sexist, nasty spirit never rest in peace. Grim Smurf. I almost said Running Man for my action movie. Great Schwarzenegger film. I can't believe I said it. So on to science fiction. Okay, Joe. Science fiction's a tough one for me because I almost feel like I have to take Star Trek out of it because of how much I'm biased towards Star
Yeah,
Trek.
because I was going to pick Star Trek. Any of.
I mean, I'm not. We'll put Star Trek away here. So okay, I'm gonna put it away. So I mean, let's do a little different here. Let's not because I think my pick would have been a Star Trek one for you. Your pick would have been a Star Trek one for me. Let's not.
You would have been wrong.
Okay, fair enough. You wouldn't have been. But I want to talk about a few other science fiction movies I really love that I just feel like that I need to mention them.
Wait. Before you do that, I gotta guess.
Okay, well, what do you think my pick is? And I could have lied to you. I could be bluffing. It could be a Star Trek movie.
It could be, but you just took it out. Otherwise, I say Star Trek. So.
It is okay. I'm lying. I was gonna say a whole list, pretend I was gonna pick something else, and then come back and pick Star Trek. Thanks, you ruined the fucking shit.
Yeah, because I picked Star Trek.
Which one?
Well, I would either say Generations or like the. Or
You're wrong about Generations. Definitely not Generations. Definitely, as much as I love Star Trek Next Generation, I love the season of Picard. None of the and I love First Contact.
Okay,
none of the Next Generation movies. It's
and you can't pick a TV movie.
no. It's three. Okay. It's down to three. If you pick
Star Trek 1 or Star Trek 4.
Okay, no, it's not one, but you did pick one of them. My Star Trek movies, my pick is either Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan, which is a little, obvious, but so I couldn't go with that one. Star Trek 4, I love it. The whales. I love McCoy in that movie when he goes back and gives the woman a kidney. Doctor gave me a pill. I grew a new kidney. It goes into the emergency room. It's one of my favorite Bones moments in the entire series. And he's just like, you're drilling holes in people's heads. Damn it, man. He's like completely breaking the Prime Directive and like curing people of diseases and shit. He just doesn't give a fuck because he's a doctor. And I don't give a fuck about the Prime Directive. Like I'm going to save people's fucking lives. I love Star Trek 4, but I think it's Star Trek 6. I think it's Undiscovered Country. Which unironically or unintentionally our second Kim Cattrall movie mentioned tonight with you talking about
Romulan or
Vulcan. Originally they were trying to get Kirstie Alley back for it, but they couldn't get her. They couldn't figure it out. It was supposed to be Sarek again. But I don't think it's the best Star Trek movie, but I think it's my favorite. I feel
She's
like
one of my favorite, sexiest women ever, Kim Cattrall.
yeah, it's hard to beat her on a list. That could be a different list altogether. Top male and female sex symbols from the 80s. I would love to do a stupid episode like that.
Even in Sex in the City, like, oh,
Yeah, plus she's
the
just
woman is
she
fucking
just has a razor sharp wit in that show, and she's just hilarious in everything she's in. She's just has like a complete command of her. I don't know. She's just she's my favorite part of that show. Like Sex in the City, like I like all of them. They all have great chemistry, the four of them. But she, to me, is like the home run hitter. Like they all set up the plate.
fucking hilarious.
So it's like Norm on Cheers. Like they all set up the plate perfectly for Kim Cattrall to be like, "Fuck all you all. I'm gonna hit it out of the ballpark." But and I think she's awesome in this role as a Vulcan. And I think it's a really interesting story with I don't know. I love it. I just love it in a lot of ways. So I think Star Trek 6 is probably my pick. But there's many others I want to mention. I thought about picking 12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys is an underrated sci-fi kind of movie with Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt that is really weird and has its own universe. Time travel movie unto itself. Speaking of time travel movies, I can't not mention Back to the Future. Inception. I really love Inception, to mention another Christopher Nolan movie who just makes good movies. Like Christopher Nolan just makes good movies, and Inception is another good fucking movie. It's great. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum Fly.
The original too.
And the original too, but specifically that Goldblum Fly. Goldblum playing a scientist and playing that cocky part of the first movie, the transition between his things, the way the makeup works, still holds up to this day. And Gina Davis in one of her great movies. Then in an odd fashion, one of my favorite comedians ever has two sci-fi things on my list, Joe. Jim Carrey, Truman Show, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I like both those movies. I consider them both science fiction, and he's awesome in both those movies. And it surprises me because I think of Jim Carrey so much in a comedic way, but I feel like both those movies are kind of sci-fi weird, and I think he does a really great job in both of them.
They're drama, sci-fi dramas.
Yeah. Blade Runner. I can't not mention Blade Runner. Unbelievable. I know you do. And the other one I want to mention, because someone talked about it earlier, I almost picked this as my favorite, Fifth Element. I just really like Fifth Element. I think the chemistry between the cast works really well. It gives my boy Luke Perry some shit to do at the beginning. But I think the main cast has excellent chemistry, and I think all the set pieces work really well. And it's got some really great funny moments. It creates a universe really quickly, which is hard to do, and it makes it believable. I think the villain is really interesting, played by an amazing actor. And yeah, so I definitely think Fifth Element is an awesome movie that doesn't necessarily get its just dessert because it did so bad in the theaters at the time and almost got panned at the time a little bit. But I very much like it. Joe choking on his pick. So for sci-fi movie, you didn't pick Star Trek?
No, didn't even think of it.
Space Odyssey.
God, no.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Nope, not even. Oh.
What is your sci-fi pick? Babylon 5, the movie.
No, that's a TV movie.
Okay. What is your sci-fi pick?
So I immediately, first impulse, wrote down Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
It's not. It's fantasy.
That's sci-fi.
It's not science fiction.
What?
This isn't a hating Star Wars, not hating Star Wars thing. This is, I don't consider Star Wars science fiction. But if you, fine, it is. Fine, science fiction. Star Wars is science fiction. Okay, that's okay. I'll accept it. Star Trek is actual science fiction with the science and the technobabble and the stuff. Star Wars is fantasy. It really is. It's fantasy in space.
It has elements of fantasy and science fiction. They got spaceships.
Okay, fine.
Space, dude.
Fine, I'm wrong. I accept I'm wrong on this one.
But
I accept I just want to be clear. I accept I'm wrong on this one. I know I'm wrong. This is just a personal bias I have.
I did not choose that.
Okay, good.
I then wrote down The Fifth Element.
Great pick. One of the best sci-fi movies of all time.
And I did not pick that. And then I wrote down Stargate. and I did not pick that.
Oh, did you pick? Someone said Dune in the live. Did you pick Dune?
I didn't. Dune didn't even come close to being written down. But I often, since I wrote my list, have thought I
Big-
should have put Dune down, but no.
I just want a Big Daddy says Star Wars is space opera. Star Wars is a kids show. Says Iron Throne. Yeah, both are right. But Joe, I hear what you're saying, Joe, with the spaceships and the like. I just consider it more fantasy something than sci-fi. I don't necessarily associate it with sci-fi just because it's in space. But I get it.
Well, hey, it's okay. You know what?
We all need Quinn
Die
here.
Hard is still a Christmas movie.
Yes. So if something's in space, it's automatically science fiction.
If people are walking on the floor of their spaceship, yes.
Okay.
And no, yes, if it's in space, it's science fiction unless it's talking about fucking the Apollo moon landing or
Okay.
you know what I mean, like that kind of shit. Like unless it's a
Hero's
bio.
journey fantasy bullshit. Okay. No,
But it can fit things fit multiple genres.
what is your
Star Wars definitely does.
what? I hear you. That could be a different argument altogether. What is your pick for sci-fi?
It is a movie starring Louis Gossett Jr., Dennis Quaid, and
Inner Space?
Brian something. I can't remember.
Brian Koff? Brian
Brian
Koff?
James.
Brian Koff?
No, Brian James.
I don't know if I know this movie.
Anybody? Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr.?
Jen Hack says the dichotomy between Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Trek was a series that had movies later. Star Wars is a movie that became a series. Interesting, Jen Hack, and that's very true. And we do have some voicemails in a second. Joe, I'm not sure of this one. I'm sure someone in the live chat will be able to point.
I also almost picked The Last Starfighter.
Ooh, that is a good one. What is your pick, Joe? Let's see if anyone in the chat have any guesses for Joe's pick.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Sonic says, I know the movie you're talking about, but I cannot remember the name right now. Sounds familiar, says Chrissy. People can't think about it. Scott's liking Jen right now. Joe, tell us, put us out of our misery before someone Googles it. Enemy Mine, says Furious.
Yes.
Furious B. Great
Enemy
pick.
Mine.
Thank you for being a channel member, Frumius. You win points to nothing.
Absolutely. Enemy Mine.
Independence Day. I don't know, Chrissy's.
Enemy Mine.
Happy for I don't think I've seen that, Joe.
It's a great movie.
Is it sci-fi like you're gonna like I'm not gonna like sci-fi? It's not cheesy enough.
Oh, it's plenty cheesy enough, dude. And it's got some heartstring pulling and
I'll try to check it out.
bad special effects or whatnot.
Frumius.
You'll recognize one of the bad guys, Brian James. He's been in a lot of shit. He was in a Tim Robbins movie where Tim Robbins played like a movie producer and murders someone with the same guy from Full Metal Jacket and the Daredevils.
So Luna just gave us a super chat donation and says, since most of us are on the same page, I wonder if next time we do a movie thing, if we could guess the movie that goes with the line and then rank movies and TV shows. We would love to do games like that. Let me look into it and I can talk to you. Email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com. You are a channel member and a super chat donator. You can definitely request shows. So email me privately or message me privately either on Twitter or one of those fucking places you can find me on here, and we'll talk and we'll figure out how you want this to go. And Joe and I will absolutely do something like that. That would be
You can't just like say the line, like you have to actually act out the line though. Because, like, say from like Training Day earlier, right? We heard there's a line in Training Day. You don't know what it's
I gotta
like.
spin the wheel.
Get your shit pushed back in. Like you can't say it like that. You got to give it like the full. You don't know what it's like to get your shit pushed back in. You gotta like give it.
That's
give
a
it
good performance.
song.
That's a good performance, Joe. That's a good performance. We'll spin the
Otherwise,
wheel.
it's harder to understand where the line is coming from.
Okay, the wheel landed on Bite of a sandwich. I will definitely take a bite of a sandwich in a moment. Thank you so much. Well said, Luna. But yes, we will absolutely do something like that. Email me privately, or Joe and I will figure out a similar game to that. And we could do that. And we definitely will do a ranking thing. We're going to do more ranking stuff later. We will do our usually we'll do top lists, but this is just an example where we wanted to talk about a wide array of different genres of movies. Have you been not plugged in your headphones the whole time? I haven't heard myself. You were actually good.
Oh wow.
It's
Sorry about that, everybody.
No. It didn't. I don't think I could have heard myself. So you could have kept them off, and I wouldn't have known.
The mic's good then.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so we almost forgot Blade Runner. I mentioned Blade Runner. Joe hates that movie, but I love it, Luna. I think it's a really great movie. The producers. Okay, so we're getting to animated or anime. So I answered this question in two different ways, Joe. I did pick my favorite animated movie, but I did also pick an anime just because I feel like I have to mention it. And I'll mention it now because it's not my pick. But Spirited Away. I'm not an anime fan, but I love this Alice in Wonderland tale that existed. It's my favorite anime, and if you're not a fan of anime, I just recommend it on a simple visual level. It's beautiful, it's well made, it's, in my mind, and I don't know dick about Shinola, Joe, when it comes to anime, it's the best one ever made. It's the best of all time. Yeah, so definitely check out Spirited Away if you've never seen it. I love it. Let's listen to a couple of voicemails before we get in.
So I want to say your favorite is Aladdin.
No, it's a good pick, though. It might be. It's not, though. It's a good fucking pick, Joe. Good fucking pick. We got Megamind, Akira.
And so if it's not Aladdin, then I'm going to say the South Park.
Another great pick, Joe. Another great pick, and something I thought about, but no, it's not that either.
Okay.
Jay SM down. Let's see what Jay has to say.
Did you make some sort of rule where you couldn't have Star Trek or something? Because aren't those your favorite movies? And I mean, I think they're kind of sci-fi. All right, later.
Okay, so if I'm going back to sci-fi for 1 second and I'm not picking a Star Trek movie, I would probably pick The Fifth Element. It'd probably be Fifth Element. It's tough for me to pick one, but that would probably be my pick. Just to think about it real quick. Thinking about this, since I don't think any of my actual top five are science fiction, I would probably pick Serenity. And I never watched that show. You know, it's Serenity with Nathan Fillion and Summer Glau. All right, later.
That's a good show though. That's a really good.
I don't know if I've seen that one. We got
Nathan Fillion is just so good. He's so dreamy.
Joe
Fillion.
Thank you. Yes, I'm not gonna say it, but Joe, this is a weird one. You might take umbrage with this one, but my pick before I get to it, I am going to talk about my honorable mention, which all the ones
you're going to say The Hobbit.
No,
animated movie.
I do love that though. I do love that. My honorable mention that I really wanted to talk about, and I almost picked it. And if Joe doesn't accept my action,
I know your anime.
What's that?
Batman movie.
That's okay. Yes.
The HBO Batman movie.
No, it went in the fucking theaters, you asshole. It went in the fucking theaters. Mask of the Phantasm. Yes. That's one of my two picks. The other one, I don't know if you're going to allow. So that I have two. There's that Mask of the Phantasm. Kevin Conroy, who recently passed away, is the voice of Batman. No one else does Batman better. He plays Bruce Wayne. He plays everything on the original Batman animated series, on the Justice League series, and Batman Beyond is old Bruce. And in this movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. In video games too, some of you might know his voice from Arkham Asylum. The games. He is, except for one of them. I think someone else did the voice in one of them. I could be wrong about that though. Anyways, he is the voice of Batman. That movie has Mark Hamill playing the Joker. It's hard for me to beat that one as an animated movie. I think it's the best Batman, one of the best Batman movies, if not the best Batman movie ever to be in the theater. My pick, if Joe allows it, because I guess it's not a complete animation movie, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Does that count? Would you allow Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Or does that not count?
I didn't even think about hybrids like that, like
Cool World,
or Rabbit or
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
basketball one,
Space Jams or something. Yeah.
Space Jams.
So
I mean, I guess I can allow it.
do you allow Who
but-
Framed? There's enough animation in it, right?
No, that's its own. Nope, that's its own thing. That's not an anime. That's not fully animation.
Okay, someone
Because
said.
you're relying on the actor on screen as well, and not just voice actors and just animation.
Yeah, I think, but still, it's the ultimate.
And then that brings
can,
in.
Can I argue it though?
No.
Can I
It's
argue it?
either
No, let me argue it.
Sci-fi or a hybrid.
Let me
It's
argue
not
it.
anime.
Let me argue the
No,
damn point.
It's sci-fi
It's-
because there are no cartoons in real life.
Bullshit. Oh yeah,
It's
maybe.
sci-fi.
Maybe.
It's sci-fi.
No, it's not sci-fi. It's animated because the
Or
humans.
it's fantasy.
No,
they're
because the
dreaming.
humans are treated like animated characters in that movie, as hence Eddie turning into an animated character when he's in Toontown. That movie took more animation talent than almost any other
And
animated
maybe
movie
so.
of all time.
Maybe up
So
until that
let's
point,
give
maybe
it the credit it deserves and have
No,
it be
no,
awarded
no,
the
no,
best
no.
animated movie of all time on my list.
No. It's either a hybrid or.
Allie Do grew up with that
or-
shit. Allie votes for Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No.
Should we take this to the audience in a poll?
No. You said it was up to me, and I say no.
You fucker.
I say no.
So
That's a different category.
someone says
There's
American.
There's a lot for that category.
Yeah, I mean, I could pick Fantasia. I could pick Snow White and the
think
Seven Dwarfs.
about
Sword in the
Incredible
Stone.
Mr. Fish.
I really like the Sword in the Stone. If I'm
The
picking
Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Limpet
Mr.
with that,
Fish.
but no, that's no Limpet. No, that
Like,
one is
there's all-
no, that doesn't count because he had the Don Knotts parts where he was half human, where he turned into
That's
a
what
human.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a different genre.
You're
There's more to it.
fuck
than
that.
just-
No. If I want to waste my
It's not-
animation
it's not-
pick on this,
it's
I
not
can.
fully anime. It's not fully.
It's
anime,
at
no.
least like 50%.
No.
Oh, you're
Nope.
fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked.
No.
Princess Mononoke, Into the Spider-Verse, is Space Jam an American embarrassment? Yes, in some ways it's funny. It's more of a joke, and it's a kids movie. Like kids love that movie. Also, my favorite is the Lego Movie. What about the Arcane series? I grew up with that shit. I didn't think about that, Joe. Fantasia. Okay, so if you're being a dick cheese on it, I guess I will go with
Dick cheese.
I guess
Call Dick cheese.
he's calling Dick cheese on this. I call Dick cheese on this one.
And you even know. It's not.
I
Dick cheese.
mean,
you even know. You're
feel-
the one that even said this might not even.
I know, but
pretty
because
sure
I
it's
knew you'd be a dick about it. But like, I feel like it's one of those things. Like, if I want to waste my whole animation pick on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, maybe I'm stupid for doing it, but I should be able to do it.
Nope.
Oh, you're such a dick. Cinderella, The Lion King, Mulan, all great movies. Aladdin is another good one Joe mentioned earlier. Would definitely be on my list. Come on, Bob Hoskins is the shit. Come on.
I know. He had an honorable mention for me earlier too.
Oh, you fuck. You're a fuckhead. Okay, we're getting towards the end of our list here. We got a couple more categories. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're not going anywhere yet, but we're getting towards the end of the list, and we're getting towards Katie calling time, so we have to hurry up here at the end. Katie, the Crow probably will be calling any minute, right, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, so we might have to pick it up a little bit here at the end. Crime and Mafia film, Joe. You would have thought I'd pick The Godfather, but I didn't. So what did I pick?
Oh.
Red
Mad Dog and Glory.
Good movie. Good movie with Bill Murray and Robert De Niro. But no, my movie does have De Niro in it, and it in fact is the Martin Scorsese classic, Goodfellas. I have watched this movie so many
That was actually going to be my guess, but I chose Mad Dog and Glory just on
Joe, I don't think
to show my knowledge of shit.
People might think I'm crazy or not. Martin Scorsese, for my money, is the greatest director of all time. And Goodfellas is maybe his best movie in the sense that I just watch it. I can watch it over and over and over again. This movie is excellent. Ray Liotta is the best Ray Liotta ever is. De Niro and Pacino are their usual selves. Paul Giamatti. Like, the whole cast works. Early sighting of Sam Jackson in it. Well put together. Feels like a fever dream when you're watching it. Amazing movie. One of the best. Goodfellas is the name. Scarface, great pick. The Godfather probably is my favorite movie of all time, so I'm keeping it off this list. And next I would put Goodfellas. Joe, what is your pick for best crime movie? Oh my God. I wouldn't even know where to start with this one. Carlito's Way.
Wait, we didn't even do my anime.
Oh, we didn't do your anime. Okay, so give me your anime. I will say, I don't know your anime. I wouldn't know your anime at all. Alice in Wonderland. Oh.
No.
So, and your Mafia one.
Well, let me do my anime here. Watership Down.
Oh, that is a good one. That is
Yep.
a good one. And your crime one, Carlito's Way.
No.
Maud Mary, Once Upon a Time in America is my favorite. Goodfellas in Joe's.
Carlito's Way.
It's a great movie.
Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
Great movie.
With Leguizamo
And Sean Penn.
And
Pacino.
Guzman.
Oh yeah, Luis Guzman. Gomez Adams.
Guzman.
Guzman, yeah, Guzman.
Gomezman.
And great movie. Great fucking movie, dude. So yeah, what is your favorite crime movie or mafia movie?
So originally I thought I was
Scarface?
going to put down. Nope. Oh God, no. Say hello to my awful Cuban portrayal.
Come on, he's Italian though.
I was originally going to put down Natural Born Killers
Ah, okay.
because of the whole massive crime spree and then jail time. And shit
Wow,
like
your
that.
second Oliver Stone movie.
Yeah,
Interesting.
dude, I like Ollie.
No, I mean he's a good filmmaker. He's definitely a
What
unique
was,
style.
what was the other one? Was
Natural Born Killers, right?
Yeah. No, the other one was that I picked.
Platoon.
Right.
Or Platoon was one of your
Yep.
one of what we were talking about. Watership Down gave me nightmares as a child. Freaking
Good.
Bellamy, Negotiator, Usual Suspect. Negotiator is an underrated movie. Funny, those are two Kevin Spacey movies right back to back. He was really good in those kind of movies. Seven as well. Q&A with
Great movie.
yeah, Joe. Q&A with Nick Nolte and Armin Asante. Fantastic movies of Scott. Once Upon a Time. So yeah.
So I was gonna put Natural Born Killers, but I didn't. I went with Snatch.
Great movie. That's a good movie too. I like it.
Jason Statham, Benicio del Toro, that guy there that plays who's his sidekick there is
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on it right now. We've done a lot of brain power work on different movies tonight. I'm blanking on that one. Clockwork Orange is a pretty good crime movie. Analyze This, Allie likes as a comedy movie. Great stuff with this one. We're going to get to our final category here, but keep them coming.
Stephen Graham. Yes.
Keep it coming with all different categories, but I want to get to this last one. I know Joe's answer for this one. At least I think I do. If I don't know, I don't really know Joe well.
Wait, what's the last one?
The last one is musicals, but I feel like this is the easiest one to pick for you as long as I think what I know about you is right. And your favorite musical of all time is Grease. If you consider it a musical. I think. At least when
That is definitely a musical.
So I would say your favorite musical of all time is Grease. Not from your reaction, I think I'm wrong. But or you're going in, oh fuck, that is right. That is my favorite.
Oh Jesus. See, there's three musicals that kind of could the one I have written down is not Grease. But I'm having a tough time telling you no.
Yeah, you're like I'm not way off, right? All I want to know is I'm okay if I'm.
It's a fucking great movie. I love all the songs in it.
I remember when we did our
favorite
live
movie.
We used to do, and we're gonna do them again soon, hopefully. Like live watches where we watch something live on TV, like when they do a live musical or something. And I jokingly invited Joe over to do Grease live, thinking he wouldn't actually come. And he's like, "Oh my God, Grease! Katie and I are going to be over. This is going to be a good time." And Katie and Joe came by with myself and the former co-host of the show as well, and we all watched Grease. And Joe said in that particular show that Grease was his favorite musical. So I was going by memory of you saying that there, but I accept that that you were being hyperbolic in the moment because you really like Grease, not necessarily being your absolute favorite. So,
And then there's also Rocky Horror Picture Show.
that's on my short list. It's not my pick, but it's definitely on my short list.
But the one that ultimately is my favorite, Moulin Rouge.
Ooh, Joe.
Baz fucking Luhrmann, Home fucking Run, John Leguizamo, Ewan McGregor, fucking, what's her name? The Cruise's ex there. Nicole Kidman. Wow, I couldn't think of her name. Also, the guy that plays the guy from the Big Top Circus, he's fucking amazing. I can't think of his name either.
Oh yeah, he was on Malcolm in the Middle.
Fucking amazing. Just amazing.
Joe.
Amazing. I love that movie.
Joe.
I love that. I even own the soundtrack. Like,
I don't know where you got that one, Joe. Like I can't say it. Can you lie, Joe? You know
Why's
you wanna
that?
know why? Cause wait. It's my number one fucking two.
yeah.
But I want to talk about some other movies.
And I was gonna guess that for you too.
It's definitely number one on my list. And it's what's interesting about that is it's not original songs, but it's
the way they mash them
the way they
together,
mash
the way they cut it up,
but
the way that it's completely that
But-
movie is so great.
but let's-
Baz Luhrmann did such a great job with that movie.
But let's get into a couple of other ones I want to mention. Then I'm going to get into the live chat because they have a lot of really amazing picks as well. Little Shop of Horrors almost was my number one. I love that movie. I love the musical. It was tough for me because I'm a theater kid and I've
I can't sing a single song from it, no matter how many times I've seen it.
suddenly see more the
Yeah.
one I adore.
Nope.
Suddenly see
Don't know
more.
a single lyric from it. None of the songs are catchy. None of the
Feed
songs
me
want to like.
Seymour. Fuck you.
Nope.
Feed me Seymour is fucking catchy as shit.
No,
Fuck
no,
you.
no. Come on.
Fuck you. You're
Honestly,
wrong on this
no.
one. You're so
Bullshit.
wrong. You're
Bullshit.
you're fucking wrong.
This is why. Listen,
You're telling me
When-
Feed Me Seymour is not a catchy fucking song?
listen here.
Fuck me, Joe.
Listen here.
Fuck
When
me
people-
all night long.
You're not gonna listen to my explanation. Listen to my explanation about why.
The
none
explanation
of
is you're
these songs are
wrong.
correct. None of these songs are catchy. None of these
gotta-
songs stick with you. And the reason and the explanation
Jay, welcome,
behind
buddy.
that is whenever anybody starts singing musicals, nobody sings a single fucking word from that movie.
I
They
do.
will sing no.
I
They
do.
will no.
Dude, you didn't
I
go to
have
theater.
never-
You didn't go to
I have
theater
never
school.
heard
People,
you
you didn't
sing
go to theater
a
school.
word. No.
People's theater
Every
kids
other
sing.
fucking song.
You're so
Every
wrong in
other
this one.
fucking
You're
one
so
there.
up your own drunk ass.
No.
Fuck you.
I'm right. Chat, tell me I'm not wrong.
You'll be a
They will
dentist.
sing songs
You'll be
from
a
every
dentist
other
is a
fucking
classic
musical in the
song. Oh,
world
Joe's so
before
wrong.
That one comes up.
Joe's
They
so
will
wrong.
sing from Hairspray. They will sing
You're
from
dumb.
Crybaby.
You're
They
so
will
dumb
sing
on
from
this one.
fucking, from Guys and Dolls. They will sing from A Jet Is Still a Jet.
You're a
They will
dude.
sing from fucking They'll sing from Jesus Christ Superstar. They'll sing from
You
fucking.
don't
Grease.
know.
They'll
Stop.
sing from
Stop.
fucking Moulin
Stop.
Rouge, for
Stop.
Christ's sakes. They'll sing
Isn't
from
Katie
everything
calling?
except that
Isn't
movie
Katie
part.
calling right now? Jesus fucking Christ.
It's true. I love Little Shop of Horrors, but honestly, none of those songs are memorable enough.
I disagree.
None of those songs. None of them.
I highly.
None of them.
I accept your objection, and I highly disagree.
Little
The Shop of Horrors. See, you're singing it. You're gonna be singing it tonight like an asshole.
Like every fucking doo-wop song ever. And someone just put it in
You're
the
saying
chat.
doo-wop isn't catchy now, you asshole?
And
Okay.
someone just put it in the
Okay,
fucking
Maud
chat,
Mary says,
so.
just get in the chat here. Maud
I
Mary
didn't even remember the name. The title song I couldn't even have sung until she wrote it with the little musical notes.
Okay, Joe. Okay. Maud Mary says, I love the movie, but not the song. She's totally on your side. Steve Martin and Rick Moranis, Rock Crybaby, great one, Down on Skid Row. I'm with you. There's so many great songs in that show. It's
Crybaby is
unbelievable.
fucking great.
Dentist, I'll be a
Crybaby,
dentist.
Super underrated.
So many Nazis in the Sound of Music. Yeah, you're very true, Jen. There's so many.
They'll sing Nazi songs before. Like,
And
we're
I
down
was in
music before that.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss. No, I was in Sound of Music, a play when I was in junior high school, and
Yeah,
I
I
had
came
to hail in
You were
front
in
of
high school.
I was in high school, yeah, but it was at the junior
It
high
was,
school.
yeah.
And I had to hail in front of my grandmother. That was really horrible. I will get to your message in a second, Jay. I just want to get to a couple more of these lists. Joe and I can argue about Little Shop of Horrors later. Surprisingly, Joe, not number one on my list, as you might have imagined, but we know it's Moulin Rouge, is the South Park musical. I love it. It's great. It's awesome. It's amazing. Having seen Book of Mormon, If they ever make a movie to that might be best. It's even better than South Park the musical, but it's
I probably is. Cannibal the musical.
Cannibal's great.
Almost made it.
Team America's really awesome. Almost made it. South Park's on my list here, but not quite. Willy Wonka, the original Gene Wilder movie, except for the Charlie song. I like all the music in it. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Another Coen Brothers movie that I think music is so important to that movie.
It's not a musical.
It's
though.
kind of a musical. It's kind of a. They do a play. They do a theater version of it. It's a musical. Purple Rain is another one. Great movie. Underrated. Everything else Prince did acting wise kind of sucks afterwards. But Purple Rain's a good movie and a good musical from an awesome musician. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Joe, of course. We loved it. We dressed up. We went to the show. We had fun. We were all about Rocky Horror. Our friend group was all about Rocky Horror for a reason. It's a great show. As much as I love Tim Curry and I'll respect and love Tim Curry till this day I die as an amazing Frankenfurter and playing that role to perfection, I do want to give some credit to Buffy fans. If you don't know, Anthony Head, Giles from Buffy, played him in the stage version, and you can find that stuff online. He is an amazing, does an amazing version of that part as well, and a great singer in his own right, as he sings on Buffy a couple times. But he's comes from, like, his big breakout thing was playing the Tim Curry part in the stage show. And Anthony Head is unbelievable. The Blues Brothers, which funny enough got mentioned earlier. Grease, Moulin Rouge, Sound of Music is all there. But ultimately, Joe, it is
into heavy petting. It only leads to trouble and seat wetting.
I want to be dancing.
Touch me.
That be Anthony motherfucking Head, Allie. Anthony Head is the GOAT. He's amazing. What about Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's movie? That was a really good movie. That was the best version of that movie, and that movie's existence.
Is Magic Mike a musical?
No. If Coyote Ugly is, it is. If we consider Coyote Ugly a musical, that's a musical. The Cher and Christina Aguilera one is more so a musical. But it's Moulin Rouge. I mean, we're not going to argue much about this one. For me, I just love that movie so much. I love Ewan McGregor's performance in it. It's really dark and twisted, and I like how this tale comes in. Baz Luhrmann rules in musicals. I would also put, I don't know if you got a chance to watch it yet, his Elvis movie was also very, very
I haven't
good.
watched that one yet.
It's on HBO now. Go, your motherfucking thing. I am such a theater kid. I wanted to pick like Bat Boy and some other random, or Spring Awakening. The Wicked movie hasn't come out yet. Maybe that might be it when the Wicked movie comes out, because I'm very excited for the Wicked movie. I want to hear Defying Gravity on the big screen. Or, I love me some Spring Awakening, or I love me some, I'm such a theater kid. I did crew for so many musicals, and but funny, I am a singer and I am a theater kid, but when I was in a musical, The Sound of Music, I was the butler, because it's the one part that doesn't sing. Because I bombed I remember in my musical audition, and it was my first time I ever had done a music audition, Joe. And funny enough, the monologue I did on that show was the monologue I did at the end of the play you saw me in Marblehead. It was like it was the same monologue, like the I Am Hamlet, like from a play called I Hate Hamlet. And then I went to sing, and instead of singing a theater show with accompaniment, I didn't show up with any music, and I sang Nobody Home by Pink Floyd a cappella. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It was very, very bad. I think Katie was in that room. I love Katie to death. I know she'd probably be horrified if I told this story, but that was the day she sort of like freaked out and ran out of the theater. Like she did really well in her audition. I'd have to talk to Katie to hear the whole story, but in my memory, she did good in the audition, but she thought she didn't do good, and she like ran out of there like kind of sad. And then I went up there and bombed Nobody Home, and I was like, I actually bombed. Katie was actually good.
That was not her. You are mistaken.
Katie was in that play. She was a nun.
The bombing and running off stage was not her.
Was it not her?
It was not her.
Was it somebody else we know that I'm blanking?
Like I've heard this from her. Like it is not her.
Now, I didn't
It
say
was
she
not
bombed,
her.
but I remember her being emotional in one of those situations. But yes, Joe, before he was with the Crow was also in that play playing one of the nuns in The Sound of Music. Did you know Katie at that point?
Yes,
You weren't together, though, at that point. You were just friends.
correct.
Yes. Wizard of Oz is another one. Absolutely. I sucked at singing, so I played an instrument. Allie, same here. I still suck at singing, even though I sing in a band, but rock music is different. But I that's basically why I
Yeah, he's
learned
not
instrument.
what you would say classically trained.
No, I'm not a classically trained musician or a singer. I'm a more of a vocalist, vocal stylist, as I say. Allie, what instrument do you play? When can we jam? Wizard of Oz is a great musical, Joe. Do you like The Wizard of Oz?
No.
No? Do you have no soul? Do we miss any of the retired nurse's picks before we start to wrap things up?
No.
We got all of her picks?
Dracula, horror, yeah, pretty much. Oh, the one that I read that I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Could have fit for drama or for crime.
Yes.
And I know you are going to say, oh my god, what the fuck when I say this.
What the fuck, Joe?
But there's two movies.
How
The
can
sequel,
you say Little
sequel
Shop of Horrors isn't catchy?
is like the 30 years or 20 something years after the original.
In what genre?
Either drama or crime thriller.
Chinatown and the Jake?
Yes, and the two Jakes.
Yes! Yes!
That was her other pick.
Yes!
I mean, that's a big hint. 30 years apart, the sequel, right? Like that's a big hint for you.
No, I mean, there's a couple movies that do that. You could, maybe a little bit, but I'm still excited.
But she thinks so, and also one of her favorite fucking movies ever is a Mickey Rourke movie.
Barfly?
No, Blue something Orchid, Wild Orchid, and then another one with Quaid and Barkin, The Big Easy.
Oh, I love that movie, The Big Easy. It's great.
She thinks both those movies are very hot, steamy movies, and I think that's some of what she likes about the Chinatown movies.
Chinatown's, yeah,
the way Nicholson is in that, like she likes.
So she likes noir.
Yes, she does like noir.
We got rakes in the live chat. Nice one, Joe.
Oh yeah, she like noir and black like that's her shit. Like noir, definitely. She wrote this movie called The Cook, the Wife, the Lover, and the Thief. Me, my dad, her went to see it like at this like little art house theater shit. Like fucking like she's into some weird movies. Like
Scoutini says basketball for the best comedy. That was Joe's.
She's gotten me into some real good movies too. Like
Scoutini, she got great taste as always. As Scoutini says, basketball. That was one of the suggestions Joe picked for me for comedy.
A couple times where like it was up for.
Someone said who said I asked what instrument, and Allie said I suck at singing, so I played the trumpet. I also played the trumpet. I'm not saying I played the trumpet well, but I do play a little bit of trumpet here and there. Basketball is a great freaking movie. Great fucking movie. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Don't forget about the wife, Jen.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The wife, the lover, and the thief.
There you go. I can't really play too much because it's getting late. But anyways, but yes, I play a little trumpet. I'm not very good at it, but I can do what I can do on it.
Those weren't Katie, Luna. Those were my mom, retired nurse.
Yes, retired nurse. Nice one. You missed the mandolin satire. Okay, so at the end here a little bit, Joe, before we call this an evening.
So we need to also come up with a list like not superhero, but best comic book adaptation or comic book movie.
Yes.
Favorite comic book movie, not necessarily superhero. Hybrid animation, dark comedy.
Yeah, we need to make we need to do a part 2 to this list and really work it a little bit. We got to work it. Work it hard. You like it. Hey now. Yeah, we're gonna work it hard. You know what I've been listening to later. Mickey Rourke, Katie would probably like. Oh, the Pope Advantage. Very cool. Thank you so much, Allie. Yep, we got to jam some trumpet. You could probably teach me a thing or two. I need someone. I need some help. I can make good sounds on it. I just don't know what the f I'm doing. I need someone to go. Oh, this is what you're actually doing, motherfucker. So let's listen to a couple of voicemails from Jay. Joe, we got a couple of thoughts.
Watch a couple YouTube videos. Get your scales down.
You're like, stop sucking for once, you motherfucker.
Get your what are they called? Can you make chords with a trumpet?
I can hit notes. I can hit chords. I can match with Craig and do some motherfucking chords and shit. Okay, there we go. Jay, let's see what Jay has to say.
For the most part, my musicals and my animated movies
Are the same, right?
are going to pretty much coincide.
Yeah.
Because my favorite animated movies are also musicals. So, like, I guess I have a few other favorite movies that are musicals that are even derived from an anime, like the Beauty and the Beast musical with Hermione or whatever.
Emma Stone, yeah, Emma Watson.
Lion King, the original one that's animated or whatever.
Yeah.
Aladdin, Frozen, Tangled.
Let it go, Jay. Let it go.
South Park
Every Disney movie
will probably be my number one.
Every Disney movie ever.
All those.
I already said that. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was
and
saying.
Just to finish off the list from musicals that aren't animated, the Robin Hood Men in Tights movie.
I wouldn't go with that movie, but we'll definitely talk about that. Maud Mary, best foreign film, absolutely dramedy. I actually know what I'd pick for best foreign film right now already. Dramedy should definitely be a category. I mentioned Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind as one of my honorable mentions for sci-fi. I think that is an incredible movie, in weird ways underrated. Listen to one more message from Jay, and then we'll start to wrap this up.
I got a question for Joe for his judgment. What about the Jungle Book remake? Because technically, even though that was considered live action, all of the background and all of the characters were animated.
Yes, exactly. Or the Lion King remake, which feels like it's in live action, but it's actually all digitally animated. Like, do those count as animated movies? Like, would they digitize like real things? And thank you, Allie. Thank you, Allie. That's playing low is my problem. I can hit the high stuff pretty good. I can flow through the high stuff pretty good. Check out my band Two Piece Trip. That's right, Two Piece Trip. Okay, so yeah.
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
I haven't seen it. Are any of the characters in it human?
I think it's all digital. No, there's one human character, I believe.
Then it's the hybrid.
So even just the one human character makes it hybrid?
If it's an actual person playing against a blue screen, yeah, it makes it a hybrid, man. That's a different story.
Maud Mary favorite Christmas movie.
That's one of the things that makes that different, Phil, is because you have I know movies now, right? There's a lot of acting against blue screen. There's a lot of acting against like the dragon or whatever that's not actually there or represented by some stupid fucking thing on
like a tennis ball.
Never get to, right.
Yeah, like Tobey Maguire is acting against a tennis ball and like in every movie and stuff like that.
So I know there's that shit that happens, but when you're talking about especially like a full movie, like you said, Roger Rabbit, or like what he's describing here for the Jungle Book movie, from what I assume, it's different because you're now demanding so much more from your actor.
Yeah.
Right? And then on top of that, you get to touch it up as much as you want.
It's also to
make the anime fit.
It's also a different kind of acting. It's also a different kind of acting. I do feel like Christmas movies should be a category. CG will be a category as well. Jungle Book movie is just CG, basically. CG should be its own category, and I would probably say Toy Story 3. Anyways, I know Joe is probably going to have to start to wrap up in a second. Right, Joe?
Yep.
So let's get a couple more comments from the live chat Fat Man is my favorite Christmas movie. If you guys enjoyed this kind of podcast from us, make sure you let us know in the comments.
The Penguin, Batman, with,
Uh,
Danny DeVito.
that was the second one.
And then we got that. That's a category. Favorite Christmas.
No, definitely favorite Christmas movies. Quick bonus category. We'll talk about some, but we won't pick our favorite, but a few of them. I really like What was the movie with the dude from Stranger Things this past year? I really fucking Deadly Night, was that what it was called?
That was fucking good.
That might have been my favorite. I'm recency biased, but that's my favorite at the moment.
That was really good.
It was really good. Bad Santa's great. Fat Man with Gibson's good too.
Bad Santa is really fucking good. Yep. And the Claus one with Mel Gibson was really good.
Yep. Murder. If we're going traditional, Miracle on 34th Street is really good. It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone. But like new modern ones, the big three are Bad Santa, the Mel Gibson Fat Man, and King of the Hill right now for me is the Hopper movie. What was it called? Was it called Deadly Night? Was that the name of it?
Deadly Night, yep.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation is amazing, Allie. Christmas Story, Jingle All the Way, Die Hard. Chrissy from Old Sons, we need a part 2 to this. We definitely do. Joe and I will work on different categories for this and work on a part 2. We'll also work on Luna. Make sure you message me privately and we'll figure out your request. And Jay has one last message for us, Joe, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
If you make Christmas movies a thing, then Die Hard better be allowed. And also,
It is.
the second Batman movie probably counts as a Christmas movie too, and maybe the first Lethal Weapon. All right, later. Oh, and maybe the second Die Hard movie.
No, I think it's like is it the first?
But definitely the first Die Hard movie.
It's Jay. It's both Die Hard movies, first and second, both act on Christmas. Elf is classic. There's so many great Christmas movies, but unfortunately, Joe needs to go and pick up the crow. Joe, this was a lot of fun. Almost 3 hours here talking about movies. We don't talk about movies enough.
No, we don't. We could talk like.
We could be more specific. I mean, we're talking very.
No. This was a huge list. And so what I suggest we do is we'll do the part 2 of this, but then I think we specifically go down and do each genre by itself.
You want to do like a top 5 in each genre?
Because, I mean,
should we switch?
Don't throw away your list because I'm sure by the time we get to that, it's going to be...
Things might change, yeah.
This list is going to be...
I feel like we almost shouldn't. I almost feel like we shouldn't do a part 2 to this, and we should just merge this to just start doing individual genre top 5s. Let's do
comedy so we can talk about dark comedy. We can talk about.
Or should we do top 10?
We
Do you think actually top 10 might be better? Gives us more room.
Well, we just talk about the genre, not even necessarily top 5, because
we're
going to be mentioning.
But Joe,
so
can I be honest with you about something? Algorithm bullshit. So we should probably call it top 10. We should call it top 10. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying there, Joe? Come on.
And don't forget to hit subscribe on your friends' phones to this channel. Guys.
Gotta do it by the decades.
Ask them if you can make a phone call, open up their YouTube, put up Phil the Issues Guy, and hit subscribe. Do it to as many
Island of the Dogs. I want to say, people saying do more of these. Please do more of these. Got to do some of the decades. Make sure, let us know you want us to do more of these by jumping in that comment section, letting us know, making some suggestions for other podcasts like this. If you want us to do best 80s comedies, we can do specific. We can get this very specialized. We can do best comedies by each decade. I almost feel like we should do that, Joe. Like best.
Oh my goodness, we got to discuss this.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. Because this could be a huge project in between shows. We should keep doing this movie stuff. And I know seeing new movies are tough, but there's stealing ways that we can see some new movies too. But I do like talking about movies.
I see new movies all the fucking time.
Okay, so do you actually go to the theater, or do you fucking?
I don't go to the theater.
Yeah, of course, me neither, motherfucker.
Not anymore. I used to go.
You and Katie used to be regular theater goers. So yeah.
No, not Katie and I, but like.
I mean, I know I used to go.
I think every time I went to the theater with Katie, aside from Birdman, you might have been with me. Maybe one other time alone with her, but like, yeah, no.
best 80s, 90s action films. That would be a great category. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about it, and we'll do more movie streams like really soon. Because after this, I'm going to be doing some from streams occasionally on Sunday evenings. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm going to be doing early stream with Tony. I'm going to talk to Joe about if he's going to get on the show or not.
I'm going to try to watch it. Yes.
Right, but if you don't like it, don't force it, because I don't want you to like Westworld me here. But try it. It's on Amazon right now.
Yeah, I'm giving it a shot. Gonna give it a shot.
And if Joe's with us, he'll be on the after show. I'm going to do the pre-show over on Tony's channel. Do the after show with Joe. Maybe Tony will join us occasionally, but Joe and I will figure out a time, maybe midweek sometime before or on a Saturday evening, and hopefully maybe we can have Katie join us too and do some more movie streams. I think she probably would enjoy talking movies more than shows, because she could be she just doesn't like being negative on stuff, I think, more than anything. And when we talk TV shows, Joe and I get really nitpicky and stuff, and she's like, you guys are too much. So I think she'd be more apt to join us on maybe a Saturday night movie stream or something like that. So so maybe we could get Katie involved too.
We got to get her back behind the crow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We got to tell her it's okay to go behind the crow and stuff like that. Her problem was she ever went on camera in the first place. Then she's like, now I always have to be on camera. No.
She liked using
the puppets.
Yep.
Yeah, she got to get back to the puppets. We got to get another crow. Anyways, good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Sounds like a trip.
Yeah, it does.